What up, y'all? This is the Talking Shit Podcast. This is Dr. Evil Genius, who decided to interrupt his workout for the sake of y'all motherfuckers. All right? So show some motherfucking appreciation. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, hit the notification bell, because I interrupted my workout for this show today. How are you doing today, Captain Paul?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm kind of going into these start a little firestorm here on Twitter with Brew and Talkie, but I'm going pretty good, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, man. I want to talk a little bit before we get into today's discussion. I want to talk a little bit about how, I'm one half of the Talking Shit Podcast. Paul is one half of the Talking Shit Podcast, and together we make up the Talking Shit Podcast. So what we do is we both have access to the Twitter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go and I just kind of take a peek over because, there's a notification on one of the accounts that I have attached, in the Twitter app. And I look, and this motherfucker is in an argument about poor goaltending. And he's just talking as if he is TSP. I'm like, yo, son, you got to put Captain Paul at the bottom of the tweet so people know this ain't Dr. Evil Genius talking here.
Mm-hmm.
Look at him. He's still arguing.
Yeah. I'm just trying to explain my thought process, and because some people get like super reactionary, right? When I talk about,
but make sure they know what's your thought process.
Dude,
how about that?
Most of my shit I say, Captain Paul, I forgot on the reply. I'm sorry, dude. Listen,
you know what I'm saying? Like, people gotta know, because I'm gonna get on there and they're gonna be like, yo, you don't know shit about goaltending, and I'm gonna be like, yo, Mike fucking Richter, all right, motherfucker. Okay, no, let's calm down. Let's peel it back. Let's relax. So yeah, what'd you do today, Paul? Besides argue without letting people know that it was actually you arguing and not me.
All right, let's start shit I see so early, bro. Fuck, man, just love it, man. You know what I mean? No, man, nothing too crazy. I've been looking at real estate, kind of looking at some houses to buy, also some places to rent. So nothing too wild. Just trying to test the market. Housing market right now is fucking insane. So I don't know if it'd be the best idea to buy a house right now, because what they're charging the houses, you're not going to be able to pull equity from it a few years down the line when the market comes back down to earth. Because there was like a ranch near my house that sold for like $348,000, which in a normal market probably be around 200, maybe 225,000. So
you immediately be underwater on that mortgage.
Exactly, and that's what some people I think are making that mistake. So maybe I could be wrong. Maybe the property value keeps going up, but I just look at history and see how it goes. This is exactly what happened when the first housing market crash happened. You know what I mean? So it's kind of going in that direction. Not to kind of go into a real estate conversation, but it's just, I don't know. That's why I'm probably gonna rent for a year until hopefully things kind of calm back down and I can buy a house at like a decent rate.
Gottfried, I don't know how many fucking times I gotta tell Captain Paul that this is his show and that he can talk about anything he fucking wants to talk about at any fucking time, but I'm gonna keep fucking saying it, Gottfried. Captain Paul, talk your shit.
I will. I'm just saying this, bro. There's a lot of people are gonna make some mistakes with real estate, and if they're gonna buy houses way above their market value, this the thing is with first-time home buyers, right? I don't think they realize that when you buy a house above its value, it fucks you in the end long term.
Yeah, because you still got to make the mortgage payments, because that's how much the bank lent you.
Right, and the thing is, you can't pull much equity out of the house if the value goes down. Then you're just like you're fucking yourself, right? Like, so let's say you wanted to I don't know. Let's say you had a $400,000 house, as an example, and you paid off about, let's say about $300,000, something like that. But you needed a loan, or you needed some money for repair. You pull equity out of your mortgage to kind of maybe $50,000, $100,000 out of that. But when the value of the house goes down, and this is kind of fucked up, they'll loan you the money to buy the house at let's say $600,000, but they realize, oh, well, it's like a $400,000 house. I'm not gonna if you only have $100,000 paid, I'm not gonna let you pull out shit out of it. Even if you have $400,000 pay out of it, they're not gonna give you it's just a very complicated and convoluted thing. Like I was talking with a real estate agent today. He was kind of explaining it in pretty good detail. He was actually even discouraging me in certain properties. Like, listen, he's like, that house is not worth it at that price. It's just not.
Right. Right. And I
Which
think
I look
that,
for.
you know, a lot of people are upset because the Rona has people leaving the larger cities to get away from other people because, you know, the Rona is Ronin in densely populated areas. So before, apartment rentals were going sky high, but now people are fleeing the cities and they're trying to go back to the suburbs where they should have never left in the fucking first place. And then it drives up the prices. But what happens when the market starts to normalize? A lot of people, I mean, we're going to be looking at something like what we saw with the subprime mortgage crisis of 2008, 2009. We may see that again. So we got to be really, really careful about the decisions that we make in the next 6 to 18 months. So, again, we're going to be trying to, for some of y'all that may not, know which direction to go in certain areas, we've got a little bit of knowledge about a lot of different things, which is why we are going to talk our shit. But you guys see the title, What to Do When She Don't Want You. Okay? I've seen it so many fucking times. Okay? Hold on a second. Original Yellow's got something to say. We always want to show respect to Original Yellow. Small-time investors keep buying the low-cost homes in my area with cash. Resale for 30% higher. Homes are going for 10% over asking. Yeah, so they're really like inflating the market. And what's happening here, and again, we talk about wages being stagnant, right? Shout out to James from the internet. We're going to try to get him on as a guest on our show. I'm pretty sure we are going to offend him with what we have to say over here. I can't wait to do that. He's a really good guy. But he put out a video on YouTube talking about the prices of homes and talking about the different generations and how, for instance, the baby boomers had a certain amount of wealth. And because of the fact that housing prices before the Rona, this is pre-Rona, housing prices have doubled, but wages stayed flat. So what happens to millennials? Well, millennials are much less wealthy than the previous generation. And what ends up happening is the previous generation who were able to develop wealth through real estate by owning their own home and then passing it on to their children. Now, the millennials don't have shit to pass on to their kids. A lot of them are stuck renting. And people say, well, why don't you work harder? Well, Americans are working 4 times harder now than they did in 1970. So if you go back 51 years, Americans are working 4 times harder, but the wages have not moved at all when adjusted for inflation. Now, when you adjust the home prices for inflation, houses are still twice as much as they were 50 years ago. So when, education goes up by 1,000% and housing goes up by 100% and food is going up, clothing's going up, everything goes up, debt is higher because you can't live on the 2 train. You can't live on the street.
Yeah.
Wages are not going up, but corporate profits, they hit new records.
Yeah.
But they also keep telling us how they can't pay their employees. No, we don't have enough money to pay the employees, but we can keep telling the investors, we're making record profits. Well, that's because you're not paying your employees for their work. So, this whole thing about Americans being lazy. No, Americans are super hardworking. They're just not getting, the compensation that is due. So we're going to have those conversations over time, and we're going to talk about how the current housing market is going to continue to keep millennials stuck, because millennials have gone through 2 depressions, 2 economic depressions in less than 20 years. So it's going to, oh shit, look at this. And this traditionalist is not even in the United States. Bought a house 6 months ago, paid 4 times as much as what the owner paid 20 years ago. And we're talking about 2001, not 1971.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have all these kinds of economic conversations. We're gonna argue. We're gonna have all types of debates, all that kind of shit.
So I think when it comes down to when you're making an investment currently on a house, and by the way, does my audio sound fine or echoey at all? Just kind of
No, I
out of
think you sound okay.
okay, maybe
But the
might be
thing
my
is, like, you
headphones.
sound okay to me. The viewers are gonna let you know.
Okay,
So
yeah. If it hears weird, let me know, guys, because I had to kind of rearrange some wiring to kind of make sure there was less interference.
yeah, you had
Back on point.
intermittent static last show.
So like this is what I will say is when it comes down to investing, I think the best thing I've been looking into is houses that need work on them, right? Because that's going to be the best value you get right now.
But
There's
even then, that's a problem because the cost of lumber has skyrocketed.
Yep, yep. Well, and that's a big thing too, right? Is because lumber is about 3 times, 4 times the usual price, so that's going to be more cost to turn. And when I'm saying kind of getting a fixer upper, I'm not getting something that's completely ripped down to the studs. I'm trying to avoid that altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Blind Bat. Um, oh, it's fine, I guess. It's hurtful. Oh, thank you, son. No, but like when it comes down to it, is that I'm getting a house that maybe a floor is kind of completely gutted. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like
Right.
one floor is completely gutted. I can live in the first floor. I can live in it and then kind of work on it while I'm there, and kind of maybe wait until the price goes down a bit, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually an oceanfront property near me that's around $170,000. I'm going to an open house to look at it tomorrow. The foundation looks solid. Kind of went on the property, which you should not do, by the way. Looked at it,
Mm-hmm.
looked pretty solid foundation, but that's just from the exterior. There's a little bit of exterior work that needs to be done with it. But I'm like, okay, like if the inside's not completely ravaged, right, and it's kind of hard because they had the shades down. If it's not completely ravaged, I'd be interested in getting at the property because I know oceanfront shit goes for a lot over time. Where it is in the flood zone, so it's going to be additional prices and additional flood insurance. But if I want to sell that house in let's say 10 years, it should like double in value if I take care of it. Um, but I think the best thing to do in this time is make sure you make a wise investment because I actually know a really good friend of mine that I went to the academy with. He ended up buying a house and then he paid way too much for it, and he's kind of regretting it now because he's just getting he's losing a lot of money on the deal. Like he actually had to end up selling the house. He bought it about a year ago over over market value. I think over $100,000 market value. Even in this market, he didn't sell it. Like he sold it for like 50,000. Like he lost money on the deal. He lost like $50,000 on the deal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why he bought a house in a year and then sold it. That's another different conversation, but you got to be very careful and wise when you're looking into these things because with real estate, the good thing about real estate, it's there, right? It's land. It's always going
Right.
to have some sort of value compared to a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if you buy bad land, if you buy land like a house that needs a completely new septic system or new sewer connection, or the foundation's cracking, and that's the one thing you want to make sure that when you're buying a house is you look at the foundation, you get everything checked because when a buyer will try to fuck you over as much as they can, they'll put paint on something.
Yeah.
The funniest thing I saw is a house I went down into Connecticut. They like literally try to paint over like cracks in the
Yeah.
foundation, like
Yeah, because they know what the cracks in the foundation means.
like
Yes.
where you should. I was like, what the fuck is this? Why is there this big white stripe here? Oh, that this is for looks. And I look at it and I peel it with a screwdriver. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, this foundation's fucking cracked. Are you kidding me? It
Mm-hmm.
was like, and I was like, fuck you. And then because I do not go in a deal with anyone because now I already know that's something I just found out. What the fuck else is wrong with this house, right?
Right. Right.
So you always want to be very careful of how you invest your money. Not to go on a big fucking ramble. I know it's my show. I say what the fuck I want, but the big thing here is definitely spend your money wisely. And if you can't afford it, don't buy
Wait
it.
the market out.
Yes, do not buy it.
Just keep saving your money.
Because that's the best thing you can do. Because I see so many people, because you can get a house. I know people that are qualifying for loans that should not fucking qualify for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I know somebody making 50 a year that qualified somehow for $300,000 house. That's dumb. Do not spend up to 300. Do not spend
If you qualify
above
for
your
300,000, look for something for 150. Like and if
Exactly.
you can't get it, hold your money. Original Yellow. Thank you for bringing us back on track. So we'll talk about all of this financial stuff,
Mm-hmm.
all of the real estate stuff. We could definitely get into that. But, thank you, Original Yellow, for bringing us back on the rails. First of all, we have to do a little bit of housekeeping, okay? This is going to be the final time that we air on Dr. Evil Genius, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to make sure that all of you are part of the conversation going forward. So, this bit.ly, www.bit.ly/ TALKIN_SHT. Please use that link. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please hit us up on social media. For those, if you've got a Twitch account but you prefer YouTube, definitely give us a follow. Help us with the algorithm. We need to grow this community so more people can hear the things that we have to say, because what we have to say is more important than what everyone else has to say. So, since you guys know that and we know that, make sure that our voices get out there. Help us with the algorithm. Make sure you hit the like button if you're on YouTube. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you know when we're going live or a new video is coming out. Definitely help us out. All right. For those that want to add to the content, for those that may want, some guidance on some shit, because, I've got a little bit of, you can see all the gray hair in the beard, right? I've got a little bit of wisdom. If you need a little bit of guidance on some shit, or you just want to hear us comment on a particular story and we don't know about it, hit us up. Talking Shit Podcast LLC at gmail.com. And last but not least, 3:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, the Filthy Casual MMA Watch Party. UFC Fight Night Vegas 28 is tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
We have a heavyweight tilt as the main card. Is going to be a fun show. Not necessarily because the fighters are good. The fighters are always good. We'll go through that later. But we're all going to, spend time watching people get knocked the fuck out, choked the fuck out. I don't know. Maybe somebody will get their leg broken again. I don't know. But we'll watch it together. MMA, the Filthy Casual MMA Watch Party tomorrow at 3:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So figure out wherever the fuck you are in the world, find out what Eastern Daylight Time is, and then make sure you got on one window or on one device or on your TV, make sure you got ESPN Plus going, right? And then on another device or another window, you got the Talking Shit Podcast. Captain Paul will be, this is going to be the first time he's going to be helping to co-host a Filthy Casual MMA Watch Party. The first lady of our house, of my house anyway, not his house, okay? First lady of the house, she will be joining us once again. We actually might be doing this from the bedroom, so, you know what I'm saying? You just know that, the background is where the magic happens, and the magic is not going to happen, during the broadcast. Sorry. You're going to have to, I don't know, maybe Patreon. I don't know. She might be into it. She might not. I don't know. I know she wants to get paid. I want to get paid. That's neither here nor there, but let's get into today's topic. Okay. So what to do. Yeah, you understand. OnlyFans, baby. What to do if she don't want you. Now, what spawned the idea to do the episode this way today? Well, I decided, actually, my body decided that it was time to take a shit. So I said, okay, let me grab my Android device and just start scrolling through Google News as I offload this shit from my bowels. And I'm going to, just kind of scroll through, see if there's anything interesting, right? So what ends up happening is I find an article. That really, I was just like, I couldn't believe what the fuck I was reading. So you know how, sometimes, you hear from religious people, just how fucking righteous they are and how much better they are than someone else of a different religion. We're going to point our spotlight at some of the minority of the Orthodox Jewish community. Okay. Now, many of us don't really know a lot of what their, whatever it is, their customs are. We were not really versed on it, but they are not immune from human nature, and that goes for the good stuff. That also goes for the bad. So, this is something that I've noticed as a youth, even as a youth, that I always hated, and I've heard this before. And you guys put a 1 in the chat if you've ever heard somebody say, if I can't have such and such, then nobody can. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever heard somebody say that. Please do that for me. So, I heard that going, oh my God. See, you're a fucking savage, okay? You're a fucking savage. When I was younger, if a woman didn't want me, I'd fuck her friend. But it was rare that a woman didn't want me, so I haven't fucked many friends. So four of you, at least four of you have confirmed. We've all heard this kind of shit before, okay? Oh, and by the way, IWH, I have fucked a couple of friends. But anyway, it was her fault for telling her friends my dick was big, but that's a different story. So, back to the subject. I saw in The Guardian. The Guardian is a UK based publication, and you're talking about this whole thing. They got this thing, Unchain Your Wife, okay? And I looked at it and I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And I see hashtag free Chava, and I'm thinking that doesn't always mean something clean in different languages, okay? I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Unchain Your Wife, the Orthodox women shining a light on so-called get refusal. So apparently, a get, and I'm going to highlight this here, if my mouse does what I want it to, a get is a document Orthodox Jewish men give to their wives as the couple is divorcing. It seals the divorce according to religious law, meaning that the husband decides if and when the divorce is final. Without it, the woman cannot move on with her life. Okay? So that means that you can go on down to the courthouse, get a divorce, but within your own community, you're still kind of being held hostage as a woman. And this is the kind of shit that feminists talk about. Men are, have the, these weird rights that, they could control the lives of women around them. Okay. And while us secular folks, us Amharets, as some Jewish people will call us, that is translated as people of the earth, as in people who are not worthy because, they're, they elevate themselves as far as their perception is concerned. They elevate themselves above non-Jewish people, and they elevate themselves above secular Jewish people who are Jewish in ethnicity, but they may not follow the same strict code that the Orthodox Jewish people, and then you have the ultra Orthodox, which is a whole different thing entirely. Okay. So thank you, IWH. You're getting towards what I'm getting towards. The word needy. So we're gonna hold on to that term, and we're gonna come back to it, right? Circle that word needy, because that's where we're going today, okay? So apparently some of them are starting to put up billboards to embarrass people who refuse to do the right thing. If you've got a divorce, then move on with your motherfucking life, guy. Okay? They're putting up billboards meant to embarrass people who will not relinquish the hold that they have on other people's lives, right? So, those of us that pay attention to what, to what Kevin Samuels have been saying about how, women who get divorces, because 80% of divorces are 70 to 80% of divorces, depending on which ethnicity you belong to, 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. So it is women who are breaking up the marriages. For whatever reason, we can get into that some other time, not right now, but for whatever reason, women, feel like the grass is greener on the other side, right? So if you got a legal divorce, what does it say about you that you want to cling to her, right? So this one particular guy, he says, it's like this is so gross. I'm sorry. This guy's he's been telling people, he's not asking for money, he's not asking for anything. He's just saying that he's living in denial. He's delusional. Oh, it's all a mistake. She's gonna come back. Nigga. Like, let's just call it what it is. Let's call it what it is. Captain.
Mm-hmm.
Are there more men in the world, or are there more women in the world?
More women.
Okay. Now, you can go on and say that, as far as live births are concerned, there's a slight majority more males that are born than female. But because emotional bitch-ass niggas keep killing each other, there are less men on the planet than there are women. Now, that's not all the whole truth. Men also tend to have shorter lifespans because we take on the more dangerous jobs because we're the ones that build society. Regardless of what you heard, men build society. So, men take on the jobs that are more risky. And so when you look at the statistics, when you're talking about on-the-job injuries and on-the-job deaths, the numbers are way higher on the men's side than they are on the ladies' side. That is just facts, okay? Waffles, you're a savage. So you're a savage, okay? Waffles, you're a savage, okay? But he's not too far off. It's not the fault of the women. It's just the fact that we are wired biologically to seek out the affection and the alliance of a woman. Like everything that we do is so that we can, get closer to vagina and maybe some good sloppy toppy. I mean, who doesn't love some good sloppy toppy? I mean, come on. Come on. Okay. So this guy, he's delusional. He's saying, oh, it's all a mistake. She's just going to come back. There are more. Like, if you really think that much of yourself, why not go out there and let her be a single mom? Because we hear about this about black women, about how there's so many single moms and, they're divorcing and they're not getting married and they're not getting married before they carry. Look, you have an Orthodox Jewish woman who thinks that the grass is greener on the other side. So if she wants to think that that is the case, then honestly, guys, do you really think that low of yourself where you want to force somebody to stay in a relationship with you that doesn't want to be in a relationship with you? Like, let's actually sit back and absorb that thought. Why the fuck would you want to be sharing a domicile or sharing a life with a woman that has already made it very clear that she wants nothing to do with you? What do you get out of that?
I don't know. Like, if you don't want to be in a relationship, right? You don't want to be in that. You don't want to be together, right? Or she doesn't want to be together with you. There's other women out there. Am I wrong? Like, I don't get. He's afraid you'll find better than that. Yeah, I guess you could kind of just put this down to being jealous, but I
So
think
we
this
said
kind of,
needy. We said the word needy, and we
but I
said the
also,
word jealous. We're on our way.
but I think it comes down to a societal issue though as well, as I think men in a lot of ways aren't men anymore. Uh, a lot of I don't know. In my opinion, a real man's like, all right, yo, you don't want to be together? Fine. I'll just move on and find a new girl. You know what I mean? Where I think a lot of these new age men, or maybe it's not even new age, but maybe it's
It's
just a lot
not
of
new
these.
age because again, they put a bunch of ones in the chat. We got at least 4 people to confirm that they've heard that said, "If I can't have her, nobody can."
See, but like, I think that's such a psycho mentality, right? Where it's
Not
like,
even psycho. We're talking about that's sociopathic.
yeah.
That's narcissistic tendencies.
Where I think that we just live in a society that's all kind of revolving around, oh, it's me, 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 me.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe not even realizing how much that affects the other person. If they're
Mm-hmm.
not happy with you, and generally, honestly, this is what I've noticed from people that have gotten divorced: is if one person's not happy, most likely both aren't happy at the core.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Mm-hmm.
she's not happy, uh, obviously he's not happy because there's some type of conflict within the household. I don't think that's
Mm-hmm.
like an outlandish thing to say, but I think this comes as a society as a whole. For men, it's like, in my opinion, a real man's gonna be like, all right, you don't want to be together? Fine. I'll find a new partner. I'll have that confidence and that swagger where
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be worried about her finding a better dude. I'm not worried about her finding a better dude. I'm more focused on finding someone that's going to fulfill my needs as a man. Right.
Exactly.
So
So
like,
we.
so like
Sorry.
I've had numerous amount of relationships, and so have you, Evil. And I'm monogamous. You're poly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like, we're very different in certain aspects, but very similar in others. It's like if I'm in a relationship with a woman and she's not fulfilling my needs or filling the needs that I need out of a relationship, I move on. Right? There's been times where a girl's like, oh, like it's just not working out. I don't get like pent up and like hyped on a woman because it's like if it's generally when she says it, even I know it's like, yeah, it's not working, it's not meshing. Maybe the chemistry we thought was there just not there. I'm moving on, and then I'm just moving on to the next one. And I'm not saying that you can't have an emotional attachment to this woman. Maybe it hurts you on that level emotionally, but it is such an immature mindset to have where you can't just be like, all right, like it's not working out. Fuck that whole she can't she's not mine, she's nobody's. Like that's just some weird shit to me. And what are you gonna fucking shoot up the place? Like, well, good fuck.
Exactly.
It's just weird. So it's like I don't understand the logic there. It's like instead of that, like yo, let her go because when you hold someone hostage like that, right, you're holding yourself hostage because you're not
Right.
letting yourself emotionally let go and go in and find because there's plenty of fish in the sea, man. Like you know how
Yep.
many different women there out there that can fit and meet everything you're desiring in a partner. Um, I don't know. I think a lot of those type of dudes really need to do some soul searching and do some improvement in their own lives. And that's what I think a lot of it comes down to is a lack of self esteem, a lot of it, and just
Yeah.
narcissism. 100%, but a lot of that kind of stems from self esteem issues where, probably deep down they realize maybe they ain't shit. So,
Yep.
um, but that's very troubling. That whole mentality of like, oh, like if she ain't mine, she can't be nobody's. Like, listen, like if you're not white, you can't school shoot. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
I'm just saying, it's just weird. Like, move the fuck on. It's no big deal. At
Well,
least to me.
it's interesting because I wanted to bring this up last because it kind of coincides with this something really interesting that I saw prior to us going live today, and I definitely want to get the input of the audience on this as well because we're not going to play the video because right now we need to set up the Patreon so that we can play copyrighted material and then get it struck down on YouTube, but have and then like clip it so that all the copyrighted stuff is off the YouTube, and then have the full uncut version on the Patreon. We're gonna get all that together. But I was watching a video, and shout out to somebody who's never gonna hear that we're doing this, but shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson, who runs a really, really, really good YouTube channel and does it really well. I can only hope that we can reach the level of his production quality. Of course, we're going to need a good channel manager and good content editor. You know what I mean? We're going to need that. But yeah, so there was a situation where a woman wrote into one of these Dear Editor things on Madame Noir. And she wrote this letter about how, and guys, I definitely need to hear what you have to say. This woman writes in that she's living in her boyfriend's house with her child. So when she says her child, you automatically know that she's a baby mama. She's coming into the picture with somebody else's child, right? Mm-hmm. So they're cohabitating. The Rona comes. She loses her window dressing job. What is a window dressing job? A window dressing job is a job that somebody gets that is not integral to the furtherance of the species. So that would be like, well, what is the difference between a coal miner and an Instagram, a Narcigram influencer, right? A Narcigram influencer is not an essential job that keeps society working. It's something that goes over the top. It's something that goes over the top of the windows. Window dressing, it's worthless, right? A job that the human race will keep on going without that job. And a lot of women who thought that they were better than the average man, they found out really fucking quick who is more useful. Because when the Rona came and all of the window dressing jobs were dropped, well, how did they try to frame it? They tried to frame it as, look at the sexism. Look at all the women that you took jobs that had no risk, that had no real benefit to society. So you were able to make, you want to talk about, equality. You're making all this money doing the job that the world doesn't need. Mm-hmm. So she loses her job. She says that he's charming, he's great, he's this, he's that. He doesn't ask her for a motherfucking dime. He treats her kid properly, puts food in her kid's mouth, puts food in her mouth, puts a roof over her head. So what she said was, he really likes that sloppy toppy. Loves that sloppy toppy. But she apparently doesn't like his penis for whatever reason, okay? All right? I'm going to find this fucking video and I'm going to put it in the goddamn chat. So cuz I want you guys to see this fucking video so that you guys can see why I would be so annoyed looking at this shit, okay? I'm just gonna put the link in the chat. So let me find, because let me just find this, because I don't want another strike on the channel, okay? But I'm gonna put the here we go. I found it. Let me make sure I do this properly.
What we'll also say, though, is for people that are watching, when we get the Patreon put up, we're going to have every clip, every video thing, not worrying about copyright up.
Yeah, we're not going to be worried about Staditionalist. You're a fucking G, yo. Staditionalist is already he's already on top of it, okay? All right. Okay, so all right, so so when don't look at the video now, because I need your views right now. You can
watch that at a later date.
You know what I'm saying? You can go off the channel later. You know what I'm saying? But in this story, the woman says that he likes sloppy toppy, but for whatever reason, she doesn't like his member. She doesn't like his phallic member. Okay? Something about it being small and something about the texture. I think that she was kind of sort of trying to allude to the fact that maybe he doesn't clean the smegma out from underneath the head or whatever. Okay? I don't know what the fuck it was, right? But here is this guy Here's this guy that basically took on all the responsibilities that belong to her. And she's bringing a kid into the situation. I don't want to give head.
Yeah.
So here's where it gets fucked up, right? Before, she was doing that slurp slurp. She was doing that old thank heaven for 7-Eleven every fucking day.
Yeah.
Right? Right? So this is what she does. This is what she does, right? She goes from every day to a few times a week. She actually says that she did this on purpose. To a few days a week, to once a week, to once every couple of weeks, to once a month, until she finally says, I'm not sucking your dick no more.
Wait, okay, so like what's okay. So are you uncircumcised or circumcised?
Dude, I'm not mutilated, motherfucker, but I know how to clean my fucking dick.
Yeah, okay, so we're both uncircumcised. Okay.
Right.
So this is the thing, and I'm not I'm not defending her. I will just say this. If you're not properly washing that shit and you having like cottage cheese out in these streets, don't expect many women to be wanting to do that. I'm just saying it don't taste like cheese. You know what I mean? You should be washing yourself properly.
Okay.
That's why I was laughing. I'm like, yo,
here at TSP, because remember, we want you to be the very best man you can be.
Yep.
Pull the skin back.
Yep.
And wash it twice.
Yep.
Okay? All right? But if you are a man, if you are a man who is paying not just her bills.
Yo, we should change the name of the podcast to that. Oh my.
But here's what it is. Sorry. If you are a man who is not just paying her bills, but feeding her kid, she should be doing like the women in Coming to America. The royal penis is clean, Your Highness.
Yo, like I'll say
if she doesn't like the extra, the extra twang, if she doesn't like the blue cheese dressing on your shit.
Yeah.
She said, he does not require her to pay anything. He asked her for nothing. True. He made sure she was safe, Rona free, her kid was fed. And you can't suck dick? Now, we're about to go again, and this is kind of why I brought this up. Here's where he fucked up. Because you know he had to fuck up, right? He said, she finally tells him, stop asking for sloppy toppy because you're not getting it. Okay? She finally came out and said it. You ain't getting shit from me. Okay? It's not going to work. Do you know how he responded? You want to know how? Because we got a guy in our chat. This dude is on fucking point. The dude is like, listen. So, you don't want to give me the toppy. Right? 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 This is why I got pissed off, traditionalists, at her. But this is about him. Because we can't do anything about how women act. The only thing that we can do is be the best versions of ourselves. So that's why for right now, and like I said, we'll get to that part, traditionalists. We will get there. But here's where he fucks up. He tells her he needs some weekly top. Otherwise, she's got to the end of the month to get out. Do you know what we call that? Do you know what society calls that? We call that Weinsteining. That's a Weinstein move. Okay? Now, That's a Weinstein move. First of all, yes, exactly. So we're going to focus on where he fucks up here, okay? This is a Weinstein move, and it's unacceptable as a man. Again, if she doesn't want to have sex the way that you want to have sex, why the fuck, if she doesn't want your phallic member in her face, why would you want to engage in that with someone who doesn't want to engage in it unless you are a Weinsteiner or an Epsteiner? This ain't masculine. This is not how to conduct business as a man. This is not how you conduct yourself. This is not how you treat a woman, even a manipulative female, because she made it very clear. She manipulated him. She used her sexuality to procure benefits that she knew she would not get otherwise. She purposely, and the thing is, we see this with women all the time. When you meet them, I mean, they're riding your shit like, you know, in the bar. You know, in the bar, they have the mechanical bull.
Yeah.
When a woman is single and she's at the bar and there's a mechanical bull, she's going to advertise to every man in there, I'm getting on that mechanical bull. I'm going to show you how much of a starfish I'm not. I know how to work these hips. I know how to, you know, do this thing, right? But she's going to pressure you to get married, and we'll talk about whether you should be doing that or not as a man in the 21st century, 2021. We'll talk about that. But she'll pressure you to get married, and then after you walk down the aisle, do you know what continues to walk down the aisle away from you? Your sex life. Because after the honeymoon, I mean, does it sound like I'm talking out of turn?
So are you saying a normal relationship or this type of relationship where this lady seems like she's out for kind of manipulative reasons?
Yeah, so I don't like the woman.
So,
and the thing is, she put herself in a bad position because she's like, well, I don't have anywhere to go, but I'm not going to suck his dick anymore.
So, like, in this case, right, like, where essentially he's putting up everything for her, right, money-wise, monetarily wise. She doesn't really
he's
have
putting
to.
out. Because if he doesn't feel like putting out, she's going to be upset.
So, in that case, I think on his part, I'd be like, all right, later. Like, that.
But she's got nowhere else to go because she has already hitched her wagon to him. Oh, I don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah, but is that his
I
problem?
still think that she needs to go talk to her mama, say, hey, mama, I need to move back in.
I'm just saying, like, is that his fault then? Like, if
Yeah, I'm gonna put the onus on him.
Really? So you're gonna put the onus on him that she has nowhere to go?
Yeah, because he allowed that situation. First of all,
okay, so like if you're gonna, yeah, okay, go ahead.
First of all, let me ask you a question, Captain Paul. Let me ask you a question. Let's say you were single, right? If you had a choice, would you date a single woman with no kids or a single woman with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids?
Single woman with no kids.
Okay. All right. So over here in TSP land, we do not advocate for men who value themselves to take a bad deal. Because basically what a woman is doing by trying to shove her kid in your face, basically what she's saying is, I want you to pay more than the last guy. I have less value, but I want to pretend that basically the way a woman comes to you, that's what she's saying that you deserve. So when you flip through the dating apps and you see all these single mothers talking about package deal this and you better, yo, dude, I should have fucking screenshotted this shit. I should have screenshotted this shit. I was on Bumble last night here in New York City. This chick puts in her fucking bio. I swear to fucking God, she put this in her bio. She says something like she has herpes, right? But then she says, if you're uneducated and a bigot, swipe left. So she's trying to call you a bigot because you don't want the herpes. Oh, you're uneducated. Because I have it, you need to be willing to risk getting it from me. And if you don't want to risk getting the herpes from me, you're a bigot. I swear to fucking God, I saw that. I saw it. I fucking saw it.
Okay, so there's so many different issues here when it comes to dating. If we're gonna go into this topic, right? So, like, as you know, I've dated a single mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Went on a date. It was good for a couple of months.
Now define dating so that everybody knows what you mean by dating.
Well, went on a few dates. Well, more than a few. It's like courtship, like regular ass courtship. I don't know how to explain this properly, but went on a few dates, saw each other, had some intimate times. Just kind of, saw each other for a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like a defined boyfriend-girlfriend thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, we see each other, it goes well. I'm like, okay, maybe there's something there. But I remember this conversation we had. It was about like a 2 month. It was literally 2 months in, and she's like, oh, so because she had a young son. I'm gonna obviously make her nameless in this young son. Oh, so when you get out of the academy, when are you gonna get me a house?
Mm-hmm.
What? It's like, yeah, I don't want no cheap house. I want a house at least a big house, 2 floors and all this shit. Having this conversation, and you kind of know me, with women, I'm a little more gentle with. And I was just savage. I was like, you a house? I said, why am I gonna get you a house before I get myself a house? And that started a whole different argument. And she's like, oh, so what? I'm just on for some ride or some shit. I'm like, you need to take care of my kid. You need to be a father. And I was like,
wait. Yo, did you see the fucking straw man?
Yeah.
Okay, when are you gonna buy me a house? Oh, are you just taking me for a ride? There's a whole lot in between there, right?
Yeah. It's just, she was looking for a ride. That's all. She was just looking for a free ride. There were some signals, right? Some red flags that popped up. And I was like,
and whose fault is that they got ignored?
Oh, that was my fault because I was in Maine and I was hungry, bro.
Accountability, fellas.
So
hold yourselves accountable.
So that was definitely my fault. But I always kind of made sure I ain't that dude's fault. I never met the kid. Never. Because I was like, I'm not meeting your kids until it gets to that next level. And I think it can be that. Right. Because I think that's unfair to the kid having any type of emotional connection to me.
And you see how thirsty she was to try to, do you see how thirsty she was to try to hurry up and get a patsy, a fucking sucker, to undo the stupid decisions that she made?
Mm.
Why is it your responsibility to pay for her stupid decisions? Because as men, when we make stupid decisions, what happens to us?
Well, we kind of eat it. We get fucked. So, if we make stupid decisions, we pay for it.
Yep. Dearly.
And I think this is what I'll just say is, so go on the date. She says that. And I told her, listen, and this is a wild story, but there's another thing that night that happened that was pretty fucking funny. And so, shit, do you mind if I just tell this story? Because it's actually kind of fucking funny. So, we went on this date, went to her place that she was house sitting because that family was gone for a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So she makes seafood, Joe. And I do not lie to you when I fucking say this, right? So we eat, everything's going well, good night. And oh, by the way, parents were watching their kid, which is a whole different issue I'm not gonna get into. And yeah, I ain't giving no one a fucking free house. So I have to use the restroom, right? So I have to go take a shit. So I'm in the bathroom doing my thing. No lie. Knocks on the door. Hey, are you okay? I said, yes, I'm just going to the bathroom. It's are you taking a shit? And I was like, yeah, I am. And she's like, oh. And then like, yo, I swear to God, right? 20 minutes, I get out. 20
Was it
minutes later,
Hiroshima style blowing up?
but no, it was just like, yo, like I was in there for like a minute, bro, and like all I heard was, "Are you okay?" Like the fuck, like it's just weird shit. So like,
But I just want to know, like, how badly did you blow up the bathroom?
not that bad, dude. It was like, it was kind of like a normal, like maybe a 4.5 on the Richter scale type shit.
Okay.
But like she legitimately like 20 minutes later we get into the argument. Oh my god, like I can't believe you took a shit. I'm like, what? It's like I can't believe you took a shit when we were on a date. And I'm thinking she's clowning and just cracking some jokes, but she was like dead ass serious. So I thought for real she was joking. So I'm like, haha, you're funny. So like we have your times, and then the next day, bro, like because I thought that 20-minute conversation was kind of like a playful one, yet she was kind of like making some barbs. But like the next day, she legitimately got angry and furious with me on a phone call saying, I can't believe, I take you to their hit place and you take a shit in their bathroom, and like it's so disrespectful and all that. I'm like, whoa.
What was I supposed to take a shit?
Yo, like, bro, it was like the weirdest shit that's ever happened to me in life, yo. Like, I've never had someone outside my door like, are you taking a shit? And like it was a very, very peculiar day because we had the whole conversation. So I left on that bitch every day. Oh no, I hope not. Oh, I hope not. But so like we had the whole house conversation that same night, and then she felt some type of way, and it's just like after that day, it was funny on that phone call. I was like, you know what, like, and this is what I think more dudes need to be like. You know what? I said, listen, like, I don't have time for these immature games.
Waffle speaks for me.
Oh, dude. I said, I don't have time for this childish shit. Like, I got career training I'm trying to do. I'm spending like $100K trying to up my licenses and get all this shit done, do this work. I'm good. And like, she was fucking shocked, by the way. She's like, what do you mean? What do you mean you done? I said, no, I'm done. Like, I'm going to be over in the next day or two to get my sweatshirts and shit like that. Like, we done. We good.
Mm-hmm.
And she's always kind of
super important lesson that cannot be skipped over. And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's super important. The title, the theme of today's show, what to do when she don't want you. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The rules, the proper way to go about it is the same thing that you just said. You have to be willing to walk away, because society has this really fucked up expectation of men that we will do anything for some sweet sugar walls.
Oh yeah.
That we'll take disrespect, that will be used, that we're gonna simp, right? Defending your motherfucking boundaries. That's real masculinity, fellas. Not trying to control somebody else, because I learned this a long time ago. Human beings are only able to control one person at a time. So if you are trying to control someone else, as we talked about in this article, with some of these guys that get these legal divorces, but they don't want to give, they don't want to honor it from the religious standpoint, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is impossible for you to try to control someone else and to be in control of yourself at the same time. Self-control, discipline, that is masculinity. That is remaining in masculine frame. Mm-hmm. And when you look, and again, we're going to come right back to this guy who doesn't want to give his wife the religious the get document that is necessary for her to move on with her life.
Mm-hmm.
By virtue of him trying to control her life, he is telling the world, hey, everybody, I'm out of control. I can't control myself. I've got no discipline. I'm not a real man. And that's why nobody respects you. That's why people are able to create, what is this? They put up, some sign. They put up a billboard to shame this guy. Because the dude has stepped outside of his masculine frame. when when a woman tells a man that when he has to take a shit, that he should not do so in a toilet. I don't know what the fuck she was trying to tell you, Paul, but the expectation is she can make stupid, she can, make stupid, niggles and, oh, I'm gonna, pick at you and, make, stupid whatever fucking comments. She thinks that she's able to do that because in her mind, only she has the ability to do the rejecting. Only she has the ability to break it off. No. If you are practicing proper dick discipline, you cannot be manipulated, fellas. Law of supply and demand. There are more women on the planet than men. So all that simping is doing is fucking up the market. If she can't show you the proper respect as a man, you don't need to call her out her name. You don't need to, find out who her next boyfriend is. You don't need to try to make her life difficult. The only thing that you need to do is move on with your motherfucking life and wish her all the best. Because if she believes that the grass is green on the other side and she can't see that it's AstroTurf, then let her find that out on her own. If she thinks she could go out and find better, go on and do that. I've actually had women leave relationships with me and actually go out and find better. Thumbs the fuck up. Good. Like, what does her doing bad do for my life? If I'm a bitch ass nigga, I'm going to celebrate her doing bad. No, I want you to do good. But if you don't come back over this way.
So this is what I think it is, man, is that I think a lot of this does come down to dudes just not knowing how to fucking properly maneuver in just relationships in general. I think, like with me, right? Like,
welcome, Jimmy Dean.
Welcome, bro. I think the one relationship I made a mistake on, my very first one, very serious one, I should say, because I had some before that, but that's high school and shit. I don't really count that. I made some big mistakes, and it was a growing experience, a learning experience. I was like, okay, so what did I do here that I held on to too much long, and I didn't learn to move on. And I from that terrible relationship, which we'll have a story about later in some other episode, made me realize, like, hey, like, I have some value here. I'm a good dude. I have a good career ahead of me. Like, never again am I going to let anyone kind of make me feel less valued, right? Like, I'm not going to ever just fucking hang on to someone emotionally when there's other fish in the fucking sea. And when I had that, the first one was pretty horrific, but after that, pretty bad learning experience where I made a lot of mistakes. I see a lot of these young guys make, and that's the big thing, right? You can make mistakes. I'm not saying, oh, be picture perfect from fucking from jump, because barely anyone is. But you need to learn from your mistakes and learn from history and be like, okay, what happened here and what went on here and what can I do to make sure this never happens again? And that's something I've always kind of gone about with dating. And some women have kind of called me like cold-blooded at times because like when I see some fuck shit, I'm just done.
Yeah,
like I'm done. Yep. Right? Like I'm just done. And like maybe that does in some sense make me cold, but when I detect my bullshit meter fucking goes.
Let me ask you a question.
It's like
Let me ask you a question. And again, it's fucked up that we've internalized the sign language. For those that don't know what sign language is, okay? Sign language is an acronym. Okay? SIGN, sign language. Okay? The S stands for shame. They're going to use shaming language to try to get you to feel bad about yourself for protecting yourself. The I, insults. If the shaming does not work to get you in line, then they'll try to do these ad hominem attacks. Okay? Then the G, guilt. Try to make you, again, a different way to, try to make you, feel bad. Like, for instance, if you don't put up, with with a woman's bullshit. Oh, but do you even respect your mother? They try to use these straw man arguments to try to make you feel bad about not putting up with their shit. And the need to be right.
Mm-hmm.
Sign language. Shame, insults, guilt, the need to be right. So, I give you an example. Because I learned that acronym from Kevin Samuels, so we're going to use him as the example, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I watched this live stream from this woman in the UK, a black woman named Jessica X, right? If you look her up on YouTube, her voice is like satin fine. And she's pretty too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she is breaking down a live stream of a really angry woman who pretty much just hates black men, and she's going after Kevin Samuels and basically saying, like he's basically what Kevin Samuels says is, look, the black community is in last place. We're in last place. It's going to be hard to build a strong black community if we fail to create black families. So in order for us to create good black families, men are going to have to be the best version of themselves. Mm-hmm. And women are going to have to be the best version of themselves. So Kevin Samuels started out the first 3 years talking about what men should do to be the best versions of themselves. But as soon as he directed his attention toward the women and say, hey, ladies, you've got a responsibility too, all of a sudden, shame, insults, guilt, the need to be right. Oh, your mama black. Oh, you just hate black women. Oh, this, just that, right? Mm-hmm. Then they find out that he was, Jimmy Dean, you understand, right? Right? So then they said, well, if none of that stuff, because the thing is, they can't actually attack what he's saying properly. And even when they do, they be straight up wrong.
So like they can't attack
Gottfried. Thank you for coming through. They can't attack what he's saying, right? So you know what they do? They can't
attack his points. They attack him as a person.
And he's gay. Hmm. Oh, he's not attracted to women, right? They're never going to address the fucking issue, right? They're always going to be like, oh yeah, he's part of the LGBT. He's part of the LGBT. Oh, he's part of and somebody I forget who said this, but it's funny. If it was actually true that he was LGBT, right? Would any of these people be trying to use that as an insult because they'd get canceled, right?
Oh, 100%. Like that's the thing. Like it's they absolutely be scored. Like, oh, so what are you saying? A gay man can't have thoughts? You know what I mean? Like there's so many ways you could spin that.
Or basically trying to use homosexuality as a way to insult someone. I mean, think about everything that we've gone through with people trying to silence, like people in the gaming community because we call people certain words that start with certain letters, just to try to insult them, right?
So, and this is the thing, and this is kind of what I've just noticed. This is what I've noticed is I feel like certain groups can get away with being bigoted openly, like publicly. I know, like if a woman, let's just say this, a woman will get far more leash, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Oh, Jesus Christ! I'm not trying to call. But you know what I mean. They'll get.
I understand what you're trying to say.
They'll get far more leash regarding a man. Like it's like, oh, what you say? What the fuck you just say? And then it's canceled. Where a woman says, oh, well, she's just saying it because of this. Like there'll be more excuses or more tolerance, I should say, given if a woman says these topics. And sometimes it's actually fascinating, just from what I've seen, is. And this is just kind of coming from my perspective, is that a lot of people talk about, like, for example, like it is an issue, but like, how white versus black type racial issues. There's a lot of like minority versus minority hate as well, though. Like it's sometimes to a worse degree that I've noticed. Like I know some Koreans that do not fuck with Japanese, or like Koreans that don't fuck with like it's crazy. Like the amount
one of my women, she's Korean, so I definitely understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, bro. Like, because I was good friends with a Korean kid. I was like, yo, like, what the fuck's going on here? It's like, no, I'm just my parents. It's not. They ain't gonna. and I talk to them like, what? Like, what? It's just crazy. Like, it's always kind of like, it's different. But like, for example, if a male says that, or, you know, say a white person says some wild shit, I'm not saying it's acceptable. It's just like, it's far tighter, like, oh, fuck you, go to hell. Whereas them, it's like, oh, well, this, you know, there's more allowance, I guess, Saber say. I'm probably not explaining it in the best way I possibly could be, but that's just something I've noticed. It's very peculiar because if anyone else called like Kevin Samuels gay or some shit that like wasn't like a woman, right? That, you know, trying to defend their femininity, they'd be took into task or saying hate speech. Am I wrong?
Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if they really thought that he liked to, you know, do with other men, right? Then what, especially if you call yourself a womanist who's on, you know, who's a progressive, right? Then you would be celebrating and championing that, but no, you want to use that as a pejorative, right? And again, and this is another thing that people have to understand is that a lot of this forced progressivism is not real because they'll talk all of that shit, right? They'll talk all of that shit, right? But about, like, you know, progressivism and all this shit, right? But then when it comes down to it, when your chips are really down, you're going to try to use the sexuality issue as a pejorative because that's how you really feel.
Well, that's the thing is I think with a lot of these people, right?
Hold on, I gotta. There's a little bit of ignorance in the chat, Jimmy D. I'm gonna address this right now. Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're gonna address this right now, and we're gonna make this real clear. Okay. The reason why the phrase "black on black violence," why it exists, there's a reason. Is to shut people up about police violence against defenseless people of color.
Yep.
The reason why I say that is if you look at the statistics, black on black violence happens at a similar rate to white on white violence. At a similar rate to Asian on Asian violence. At a similar rate to Hispanic on Hispanic violence.
Yep.
The reason why we don't create terms and phrases like that is because it's a straw man meant to take the spotlight away from where it belongs.
So, like, and can I just defend myself real quick?
It just so happens that people harm the people they live around. So since we live basically segregated around the country where black people live around black people and white people live around white people, the vast majority of crime happens intra-racially. Very rarely does it happen white on black, black on white, Hispanic on white, and so on and so forth. So I just want to be sure that you have to understand that the phrase black on black crime was created the same way that white lives matter and all lives matter. That those phrases were created not as a way to actually tell the truth, but to divert away from where the spotlight is so that people don't have to change. So I want to make that very clear.
So the one thing I said, though, when I was talking, I said minority voice minority. I didn't say black on black crime.
Right.
Me and Evil have had, I had the notes before where me and you had that long, let's get into it. So like we had that long conversation, right? Like black on black, white on white, all that shit. Like if you look at per capita, right? This is where people make a lot of mistakes, right? Because they'll look at the numbers, right?
Right.
But they won't look at the percentage based on population. It's very similar across all races. Right. So let me just make this fucking clear now. No, I'm not going to go on a subject that I think is asinine, right? Where it's not solving the issue. If anything, it's creating division. When I was saying minority versus minority, I know, like I was saying, Koreans versus Chinese or something like that, or even like certain minority groups don't like other minority groups for whatever reason because there's history between them, right?
Right.
So like that's what creates the hatred and division. I'm not going to go on a subject that I think like it kind of bastardized the whole underlying issue in the country if you just call it like white on white, black on black. Am I incorrect? because you're kind of generally like, for example, in the area I live, a lot of it's
Mhm.
white crime.
Right.
Because you want to know why? Where I live is in the suburbs, and a lot of it is the population I think is like 85% or something like that, black,
Right.
white, we're right around this area, not in Rhode Island, but just in this current circle I live.
And that's usually around the percentage. 85 to 90% of crime is done intraracially, where but the perpetrator and the victim is the same race.
Exactly. So like that's listen, there's a lot of shit. You know I've said my stance. I'm conservative economically on a lot of shit.
Right.
I'm
But
conservative.
the thing is, this is how the show was birthed, right? Like you're
Yeah.
wondering, like, how could people be believing this shit that doesn't even make sense? But the thing is that
because the numbers are
narratives,
right there, but the numbers are right there in the FBI. Like
yeah, even the FBI says that there are problems racially in the country, especially when it comes to policing.
No.
I know that I don't want to get too far off the topic,
right?
But I just wanted to make that clear because I one of the things that I want for this channel is for everybody to be able to say everything that they want, and know that I'm not going to attack you.
Exactly.
But if what you're saying doesn't make sense to me, unless you can prove your point, I'm going to counter that point, and we're going to do so respectfully, man to man, out of respect. And that's how we grow a community.
See,
right?
And that's the thing is, I would rather be incorrect and then corrected. Right? I'd rather be wrong and then corrected. Like
people correct me all the time.
Like the Colin Kaepernick thing, you corrected me on that.
Yeah.
Because I actually looked into it, and what you were saying was right. So I was wrong, but see, there's nothing wrong with.
There's nothing wrong with being wrong.
You're
holding on to the wrong after you know you're wrong.
Exactly. So
right? And that's why I got so angry about the Colin Kaepernick thing, because Colin Kaepernick stood up there in the press conference and says, I have a problem with police brutality. That's why I took a knee. And then you go on the Fox News, Colin Kaepernick disrespects the military. Like, like you're purposefully, like, you know what you're doing. You're purposefully, it makes me so mad. It makes me so mad because they know what they're doing is wrong and they don't care.
Well, and that's where I think a lot of the division comes in this country. I'll say this, is the more media that we get at our fingertips, right, and the possible, like, me and you were able to connect in ways that people before were not able to, right? Like back in the 50s, 60s, like just look at us right now on a webcam, 4K, beautiful microphones, expensive microphones. So we're able to communicate.
Got to make sure that my voice sounds velvety.
Sexy. But the good thing is
I have a voice and a face for radio.
The good thing is we're able to interact with people more than often. But what you notice is, like, with more technology, more information, it gets bastardized, right? And instead of telling it, like, doing pure statistics and kind of making something like factual based on news reporting, and this goes both sides.
It's a lot of
conjecture. They make it conjecture and a lot more opinion than it needs to be.
Right.
What I want from my news is just cold hard facts.
Yeah, just tell me what the fuck it is and leave it up to me to decide what the facts mean.
Like, I think a lot of this vitriol, this negative, angry vitriol comes. Oh, no, they do care, and you're right. They do want controversy, hate, because one of the worst things
that gets some clicks, that gets some views.
One of the worst, you know what? I know the media says, "Thank God Trump's out of office" and stuff like that, but I'll say this: they hate it to a certain degree because he was just so Clickworth. yeah.
No, actually, I thought that you were a breakfast sausage, but
Well, like, one of the worst things was, I think they kind of regret having Trump out of office in some regards, because there was so much more clickbaity shit that he did at times that made you shake your head. But that is true. He's misogynist. So how dare you? But again, I'm back on topic. Like, the reason why we made this podcast was to have these difficult conversations, and I understand, coming from my perspective, it's going to be far different than Evil's.
Right, and that's the fucking point.
And that's the thing, is, we were both able to have a different perspective on certain issues and kind of give our take. Like I said in a podcast, like, my first high school was predominantly a minority-based high school. So, like, I never went through that struggle, obviously, right? But I have a lot of friends. A lot of friends. Gotta be, yo. That's wrong. Yo, wait a minute. Are you assuming that? Yeah, I'm not gonna go there. It's Pride Month. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
No, but yeah, no. We're
All
just
right,
gonna
so
have
we got a
a
little
different
bit of a
conversation.
something here. So I'm gonna I wanted to address this, and Clarissa ended up addressing it. So I think that this is a pretty interesting conversation. Waffles. Remember when gay wasn't actually an insult for being homo? We used to just call each other gay in school when the teacher wouldn't let us call each other stupid. We use it as a substitute the same way shit is used. It was hijacked at some point to mean a homo slur, right? Because a lot of times, especially when you're on Xbox Live or PSN, we can't assume to know what your actual orientation is, but we're using it as an insult just to get you upset because we know what their value system is, right?
Bro, some of the 360
So
stuff I heard was
Clarissa,
horrifying.
yeah, but using gay as an insult equates being gay with being bad. And sure, as a kid, you don't think of it that way, but that was happening. Now, one of the things we have to be very, 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 very clear about, Clarissa, and I hear what you're saying, is, and I'm gonna use the Colin Kaepernick example one more time because it's apropos here so that you can understand exactly where we're coming from, okay? If Colin Kaepernick takes a knee during the national anthem, right? Someone saying that it is disrespecting the military could possibly be right if that was his actual intention, right? But Colin Kaepernick made it Colin Kaepernick made it very he made it very obvious that he was taking a knee because he was dissatisfied with police brutality. He made that very, very clear. So, if he is telling you why he is saying such a thing, it really is kind of disrespectful to say, well, no, that actually, Colin, what you're saying is something else because I believe that what you're saying is something else. No, the person that is uttering the utterance is the one that gets to decide why he's saying what he's saying and what it means. For instance, was it Amber, was it the ball chick, Amber, the one that does the slut walk? What is her name?
Rose.
Amber Rose.
Yeah.
Right? Amber Rose is another, right? She decided to, well, we all know what the SL word means, and it's usually a pejorative, right? We understand that. But she says, you know what? I'm going to take that word and I'm going to repurpose it for my own purposes. And that was generally respected amongst people in progressive circles, right? It would be one thing to say to her, no, actually, the word means this to other people. So no, actually, you're using that word as a disrespect to yourself or internalized misogyny or whatever it is that people say, right? People can make that, but people didn't respond that way. So I just want us to be very careful in how we approach certain topics, because if somebody is telling you, hey, I'm using this term in this way, we have to be careful when we say, no, actually, what you were doing is something else.
Right. So you don't want to run into the fucking how would you put this? The thought process of you putting words in other people's mouths that they didn't mean
Right.
to say.
Or intentions.
Intentions.
Right.
So I kind of.
Because if you called me the F word, right, I'm going to laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I'm going to laugh because I understand the context of what you're doing, right? But I know that if I talk to a certain other person and you use that word, I know that it's going to, depending on the connotation and the context, is going to mean something different to someone else.
Yeah. No,
Right?
exactly. Because if you're going out on the street and you see somebody that might be, that orientation, you call them the F word, they're gonna.
Right.
It's
but
not
now
gonna
you're
go
making
over
it
well.
clear, right?
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
making it clear what the intention is, just based off the situation. So I think that it's important to make sure that we observe. It's important that we observe and respect the context so that we can bring a little bit more balance back to society overall. It is really, really, really important
Mm.
that we actually listen to people
Mm.
and understand where they're coming from. Because a lot of times when we just say, oh, you said this word, you're automatically hurting someone else. I think that it takes away the power from that person, the agency from that person to decide how they want to react to whatever was said or done.
Mm.
And it also unfairly judges people in a certain light who, may not have the intention on hurting really anyone. So, like for instance, like if somebody called me the N word, it's not really going to bother me because that's just how I'm built. Like words are not something that I'm really built towards putting a lot of value. It
But
will it will let me know what you think of me, and then I will deal with you or not deal with you accordingly.
right, but to be fair, there's gonna be other people that get so can't iced tea and just whoop that ass. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's
Oh, sometimes I cock my head to the side. Sometimes when I talk. Jimmy D is like, yo. Yeah, the camera angle is above. I'm going to be fixing the camera angle thing. I'm going to be getting a better camera. There's a lot that I want to do to improve like the ergonomics. But yeah, the the angle of it kind of comes down a little bit. So yeah, I'll figure it out. I might try to. I don't know if I can, but I might even try to lower my monitor so it's more, straight up. You know what I mean?
mm,
So I didn't want to scare away Clarissa, and I respect Clarissa's position, but I definitely want to have that kind of conversation where it's like, hey, can we come a little bit more towards the middle when it comes to discourse? You know what I mean? And I think that it sets a bad precedent when somebody says, hey, this is my intention. And then you're like, well, I understand what you think your intention is, but, people may, still take it out of context. But it's like, I'm not responsible for what you interpret. I'm only responsible for what I say.
well
And
that,
what you
that
interpret is your business. You know what I
and
mean?
that's why I think a lot of comedians or newer comedians, I think that some of the greatest ones just don't really care.
Right.
Right? I know this is kind of a little different of a conversation, but I think that's the one thing. Your intent of your words, that's kind of what makes a singular word have either good intention or negative intention, right?
Right.
If I start screaming that N word at a group of people, probably gonna get my ass beat. So like, but it's one of those things. Like if I'm in a group of friends, like you said, and you say something kind of like funny and you say the F word, it's like, it's kind of like I said, it's just I don't like the policing of language so much where you can no longer
I'm
say
very
it.
much against it.
So like I think that you got to be careful when you go down that slope. Mind you, no one should be hated against. No one should be discriminated against. We don't believe
And
that
you can
here.
always tell, as adults, we can always tell when someone is unfairly or unduly trying to, going ad hominem. Like we know when
Right.
someone's going ad hominem, and by and large, people don't like those people, so they end up by themselves.
Yep.
Like if you have that kind of personality where you're always attacking somebody's character, because let's be frank, right? Certain lifestyles, the LGBTQ lifestyle wasn't accepted, right? But as people kind of got used to it, people don't really care about
No.
that, right? People don't really care, right? So when people say certain words, they're usually not attacking the orientation. They're trying to say something else about the other person, except when you look at somebody like Kevin Samuels, who and the thing is, again, if people actually thought he was gay, they would not be using that as a pejorative.
Right.
They just simply wouldn't. They
Well,
wouldn't say
intent
that
makes
he's down
everything.
low because they know that making fun of somebody's and you see what I mean? Like you can tell by the context that they're trying to insult him, right? And that's the difference. Like if I just say, "Yo, son, you gay, man," that is gonna draw that reaction, right? Because I'm not trying to insult. You can tell that I'm not trying to insult you.
Yeah.
Along the lines of sexual orientation, right?
No.
But when you see, the likes of Cynthia G, I shouldn't even say her name because she doesn't even deserve to rent. Actually, I love this question. Clarissa, I love this question. Why use that word as an insult? Why use any word as an insult at all?
That is true.
Right? Like, to be honest with you, like, I think that when you look at colloquialisms, we have certain scarlet letters in society, and we've always had them because of, we can go, towards slut shaming, and we can make that. Yeah, there's so many that we can use, and I'm telling you, Clarissa, we use them all. It's just that it just jars your sensibility at the moment that you hear that one.
Well,
you get what I'm saying?
I think some of that.
Yo, we got a whole bunch. We got a, you know what I'm saying? Like Waffle says, why use swear words at all? But like we use bad words because we're imperfect human beings and we like to fuck with people. And a lot of times it comes down to this, right? Sometimes we just want to upset you, and we'll say what we believe will upset you. Why? Because that's part of the human condition.
Well, and also
people are mean sometimes.
And also some words can be said just to get a reaction. Like if I'm joking around, I know that word's going to get either a pretty funny reaction from some people. Mm-hmm. Listen, we're not saying going out in the streets and call people a bunch of F words and all like crazy
right. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
We want. In order for you men to become the best versions of yourselves, you have to be employed.
Yeah, don't do that.
And you have to be employable. Don't use that. Don't go away. We're not advocating for use of words.
Yeah,
we're just talking about
we're
context.
not advocating either of people just hating people just to hate people either. We're just like if you're gonna have a conversation, you should be able to say, you can say what you want to say, but it's gonna be repercussions at times. But no, but like I just think as a whole, right? Like what makes a swear word though, right? Like fuck, shit, bitch. Like think about it, like. What in our English language, like what made this like a negative word, like an unsayable word? Is a whole different
because the F word used to just mean a stick, or in the UK it meant cigarette.
Yeah.
Jimmy Dean, let's address this thing right here and now. And a lot of these so-called progressives that want to use, the OK symbol is not a white power symbol.
That was a meme, by the way. That was made by.
Listen. Pay attention, Captain. Pay attention. This is not the white power symbol. This right here, I'm going to say it one more time. This orientation is not the white power symbol.
No.
Okay? How do you do this? This, I don't know. I've got no range of motion. The upside down version of it is the white power symbol. Why? Because when you turn it upside down, it looks like a W on one side, and it looks like a P on the other side. That's why you see people doing it like this. Yeah. There's a W and a P. The OK is still okay. It is still okay.
Yeah.
So please stop calling people bigots when you see this. Call them bigots when you see this. This is the problem. This.
I'm so glad the black.
You see how there's a letter P here? You see how there's like there's something that looks like a W here? Okay? Come on, people.
Yo,
let's actually, can we actually be fucking accurate about it?
Well, the good thing is.
This is not racist. This is racist. There's a difference.
Like I said,
goodness.
I'm so glad the white person on the podcast doesn't have to do that, because all I know is some people are like, oh my god, look, a white supremacist or some shit. Yeah.
My god.
No, you know what's
crazy?
Can't
even say okay anymore because people don't even understand what they're looking at. Come on, man.
Listen, I think that's the problem though in society is like when you give these hate groups that power to take away something.
Oh yeah, this is also the make you look thing too. They used to play that game as kids.
Oh, I do
You know what
remember
I'm
that
saying?
shit. And then they hit you a
Yeah.
few times. I do remember that. Like
Yeah.
when you give a power of a hate group that much power over something to
Mm-hmm.
take it away.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna
I,
explain this. The upside down okay. Original yellows, just so that you understand the upside down okay. Again, when you look at it, there's something that looks like a W when you have these three spikes, and then you have the P here. So the W is supposed to be for white, and the P is supposed to stand for power. So it's a white supremacist hand signal signifying white power. But the thing is, you can't do it in this orientation and actually create the letter P. You can't do it. It's not possible. So stop calling the regular okay. It is not racist. It's the upside down version of it. That's the problem. It's like one of those little silent, things to let people know, hey everybody, I'm a racist. And you should not respect me.
so like I said, I just don't believe in giving any power, any power to a group of like people that are just hateful to any word or symbols or something like that. I just think that's foolish, personally.
Right.
Because then you're putting them on a pedestal subconsciously.
Right.
That they own this. So,
Right.
I don't know. I just let those motherfuckers inbreed with their cousins and shit. And they'll eventually die off. Like seriously, like it's so corny to me that like there's people like that out there. It's just weird. It's like, bruh, like legitimately, like go back to fucking your cousin in silent. Having nice.
You see how we use that as a pejorative?
Yeah.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
Like,
just go.
like we know it's a pejorative. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So, Clarissa, no disrespect to you at all, but this is how we address things here on TSP. We want to make sure that people feel like they could come here and communicate openly and freely without being judged, unless they make it very, very clear they need to be judged. Because what we do here is we don't assume that people have the worst intentions. We assume that people have the best intentions, but maybe they learned some of the bad lessons in life.
Right. And
So, like, for instance, when we had a conversation on, what was it, TSP, like 8 or 9.
Yeah, it was
where
about Daryl Davis.
That actually it was last Friday, so that would be TSP 9, I think, right? And we were talking about the Colin Kaepernick thing, and you were saying, oh, the NFL gave him a chance and all this other stuff. And it's like, well, the NFL does things a certain way, and people who pay attention to the process know they do things a certain way. And then they did something very, very differently, very consistently different than the way they normally do it, that would put him in a bad light, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so the thing is that I did not assume that Captain Paul was a racist who hates Colin Kaepernick because he hates to see black people killed for no reason in the streets. I didn't make that assumption. I let him say what he said, right? Mm-hmm. And then I say, hey, listen, this is actually what the NFL did. And then Paul said, hey, I'm going to take what you said with a grain of salt. I'm not just going to believe what you said. I am then going to look this stuff up and then confirm or deny. And what did you do, Paul?
I looked into it and I found out what you were saying was correct. And then, like I said, like we made this a staple of the podcast. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. There's going to be moments where I'm incorrect, you're incorrect. But then when new information comes along, you educate yourself, and then you be like, okay, well, I was wrong in this circumstance, and owning up to being incorrect. There's nothing like that's where I feel like a lot of people are failing, because instead of, okay, like, hey, I fucked up, made a mistake, they're just going to double fucking down on a bad stance. And that's not what we're like. To me, to be your best masculine self, or just be your best person overall, best feminine self, or whatever it is, and you want to be like in life, you have to own and be forthright 100%. And when you're wrong, you're wrong. And there's nothing wrong with being wrong. Just get that stubborn notion out of your head that you need to die on that fucking platform when it's really not necessary. You know how many stupid shit I see from analysts or stuff that will just go by a narrative and will stick on that fucking narrative regardless how incorrect it is. And that's something I'm That's something Evil and I are not. We're not ignorant. We're definitely open to learning, and we're definitely open to being corrected when we're wrong. So,
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely. And and that's the thing that I love about the platform that we're creating here, the community that we're creating, because originally when we were creating the basis for this platform, it was based upon letting right wingers in particular have a place that they can come and express themselves without feeling like they were going to be attacked.
mm,
Because in our modern society, because the corporation has a customer facing left wing positioning, it really crowds out actual political discourse, and instead it creates an echo chamber. And one of the
yeah.
dangers of creating an echo chamber is that you forget that there are a whole bunch of people out there that don't think like you. So even though you shame them into silence, you're doing things that are actually not working well for you, because
Well,
these people, they're going to stop talking. They're just going to start acting. And I kept telling people this way back when, during the Obama years, when, people felt emboldened to call every and anyone a bigot who would dare disagree in whole or in part about whatever the ideology was. You're a bigot, you're a sexist, you're a this, you're a that. And what ends up happening is people stop talking, and then Donald Trump comes through, right?
mm-hmm.
Donald Trump comes through, and then he is starting to say what the silent masses know that they can't say. So you know what happens?
They just fucking.
You end up with 4 years of Donald Trump. And I don't give a fuck who you support. I don't give a fuck if you're on the right, left, green, libertarian. That was a terrible 4 years. Terrible. Absolutely horrible 4 years. And I don't care who you vote for.
Mm.
And this is what happened. You get a Donald Trump when you make your neighbor the enemy simply because they disagree with you in whole or in part. So we need to bring it back towards a reasonable thing, right? You need to understand that the people that don't think the way you do, they don't do so because they're hateful. They learn different life lessons than you. How about you listen to what they've gone through? How about you listen to how they got to their ideology? And if they are mistaken, show them a different way. But just by shutting them down and calling them names, you're actually getting them to double down on their position.
So like, and this is kind of something I'll just briefly touch upon, is that there was a show that Fox did, like, with Tucker Carlson, some other there's a left leaning guy, I forget the exact name, but this was in the early, like, mid 2000s, early 2000s. That was a great concept, right? It was like left and right coming together to have an honest debate. Then didn't really turn into that, just turned into useless chatter,
Shouting at each other, yeah.
Yeah. So like, I don't think you truly. I think people are more purple than they are right, or the red or.
That is absolutely true. We actually agree. Most Americans agree on 85 to 90% of the issues.
So like, I think.
And they look at each other as mortal enemies.
This whole division politics is just making it so that the Republicans and that the Democrats can just make more money off of you and create more division. It is it's just comical in a way that, like, I think one of the major problems I've seen, and this was even under Obama, is that it started becoming pretty divided. Like, if you were conservative, right, a lot of guys would just even unfriend or not talk to them anymore, any of their Democrat friends, and vice versa. Democrats wouldn't really want to talk with their conservative friends because they had a certain viewpoint, right?
Right.
Like, I had some friends of mine that were Bernie bros, and I thought it was some of the policies of his. The enemy of my enemy is a horse. I thought some of the policies that Bernie had were just asinine. It wouldn't work on a larger scale. And that's a discussion we can have at a later time. I think as for Trump, if we're going to have that conversation, I'd actually like to have that as a more full-length episode, just to kind of get
Yeah. We'll focus more on that. Yeah.
So, like, what I'll say is this. There's certain policies I actually liked from Trump. What I didn't like was the immaturity. I didn't like the Twitter. I didn't like the public relations. I thought he was far too... far too stupid to be in the position that he was put in. I think people had this grandiose notion of him being this intelligent businessman, which turns out just not to be true at all.
I mean, we in New York, we always knew that it wasn't true.
Right. And if you actually look into the background, a lot of his failed businesses, you'd understand that.
There is a reason why he's under criminal investigation and has been under criminal investigation at various points in his life for over 40 years.
Correct. And that's why
This is long before he had any political aspirations. He was always running afoul of the law. He was always trying to find a loophole in a law. He was always trying to find a legal way to break the law. And in some cases, you know what I mean?
No, and I think with this is what I'll say with Trump. Trump got that big vote of power and that big bump because of how bad things got between just different viewpoints, right? Where people just felt like, oh, well, fuck, I can't say what I want to say publicly because I'm going to be ostracized or something like that. We can't even have a conversation. You just be shouted down. And you're right. That's what fed into it. To be fair, I'm just going to be honest. Democrats and Republicans, and I'll just say this with the past election, who's that exciting? Honestly, like who really are you going to tell me you're going to Hillary Clinton was a great candidate? No.
And you know what? I think they put Obama out there as a candidate specifically to divide the country. That's exactly what I believe they did. They put him as a candidate, and then what they wanted to do in 2016 is to try to divide the nation another way by putting a woman there, and then further divide the nation again. You know, like they're always trying to find ways to, because the thing is, again, Americans agree on 85 to 90% of the issues.
Right.
But how can you manipulate the masses emotionally? Because remember, our ruling class in this country is a very small number of people. So even if you gave them all Gatling guns to just mow everybody down, they still wouldn't have enough bullets to take on all 350 million Americans if the poor finally got tired of the rich stepping on them and then, tar and feather them and then draw and quarter them in the town square. Right? So how do you keep them under your thumb? Right here. Yeah. You get right between the ears, and again, divide and conquer as well. So they're always looking for that one thing that they know is going to press on the nerve. So that's what I found with Obama. And you know what's funny? You know what's really fucking funny? And I'm going to talk about this. And this is not going to be the first time I mention this because this is going to come up. When I was working at a shipping company back when Obama was running for president in 2008, right? And I would go to work, and all the people that I worked around were black. There were no white people because, it's backbreaking work for next to minimum wage at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, you're not going to see any white people around, okay? Not where I come from. All the white people are in suits, and they drive, Mercedes and BMW to work, okay?
Well, there's plenty of white people I know that work factory jobs.
No, I'm talking about where I was. I was in New York City. Yeah. The only white people you saw were people who did not have to do any manual labor. Mm-hmm. And I'm mad that he put this up there, but he even knew what the fuck I was talking about. I didn't even name the fucking company, and he knew what the fuck I was talking about. Okay? So what I noticed was I hate politics. I realized that politics was bullshit in the 3rd grade. Okay? So I never believed in any politician, any political party. Never believed in it. Okay? But I did pay attention to some of the things that I was hearing because this was the first time I'm seeing a black man. He's half white, half black. Okay? This is the first time I'm seeing a black man running for president and actually getting a major push. So I was intrigued because I wanted to know what this meant for social commentary. So what I found was I listened to his speeches and I realized that Barack Obama is the best I've ever heard at eloquently saying absolutely nothing.
Yep.
He kept saying words like change. Change what, nigga? What are you going to change? Right? So when I would have these conversations with my black coworkers, I had motherfuckers threatening me. I had dudes threatening to get beat half to death by me because they thought they were going to do shit to me. But I'm an evil motherfucker. I will not stop until I break something off you. So they were threatening to get destroyed by me because that's really what it was. Because
suicide's not an option.
Because I would not support him because of his skin color.
Yeah.
Now, I'm trying to argue the actual point. Like, he's talking about change. Change what? What are you going to change? And he kept saying all this vague stuff that didn't mean anything.
No, well, he was the king of saying so many words, but nothing coming out.
But nothing.
The substance. And that's actually the problem I had with Obama. I thought was kind of an overrated president. I'd say kind of like he was mediocre at very best.
He was a figurehead. He was great at being a figurehead. He is the equivalent of the royal family in the UK.
Yeah.
Technically, they have power. But do they really do anything?
No, not really. The parliament does all that shit over there.
And he was a lame duck president the entire time with the chambers against him, from what I understand. So I think that he was installed to press on the nerve. He was installed because America, well, I guess America was just too united. Hey, let's push this black guy that nobody knows. Like, literally, who the fuck knew who this guy was?
No one.
Nobody.
No. Well, that was actually one of the criticisms of him running when he did, was that he had no experience, really. Like, not much experience at all. Now, mind you, Trump won, so that kind of proves the point that experience kind of went out.
Hello.
What?
Hello.
Yeah.
But I wanted to address a comment up earlier that I thought was really, really interesting. Jimmy Dean, you want to give right-wingers a safe haven on YouTube? Good luck, man. Crowder can't even stay on YouTube. Here's the problem with Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder used to be a comic who used to say some off-color stuff to be funny. But this is what happened. Steven Crowder became kind of like Eminem. When Eminem started to Eminem came out talking a bunch of wild shit.
Oh, a bunch of wild shit. Yeah.
Right? But then when the white media started to take him to task for saying stuff that they didn't like, instead of him doing him, he went to respond back at those people. And that's where Eminem fucked up. And even though Eminem is probably the greatest lyricist of all time, Eminem ruined any chance at being the rap GOAT because he cared too fucking much what other people thought. So with Steven Crowder used to say off-color, fucked up stuff on the libertarian / right-winger side, right? But this is what happened. When people started calling him names and calling him out for his jokes, which they should not have been doing because he's a comedian, right? The thing is, he started to double and triple down on it, and then he took offense to he actually took it personal, what people were saying about him, and then he started to come off as an actual racist douche. And that's the problem that I have with Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder said, well, if you are going to attack me like this, then I'm going to lean all the way and I'm just going to say overtly racist shit.
So when it comes to
thanks for coming through, Original Yellow. We appreciate you over here.
So this is what I'll say. The Eminem conversation is, if you still listen to his music to this day, he says a lot of fucked up shit and shit that like he even said back in the day.
I love his first couple of albums.
Yeah, I like his first couple of albums. His last few have been pretty good, but there was kind of a middle. I personally, wait, you know who my favorite rapper is, right?
No.
DMX.
What?
Yes, I love DMX. I thought his
I don't
first,
even have DMX in my top 5, and I
yeah,
love DMX.
but like
He's
he's
not in
my
my top 5 though.
yeah, but like in my personal, he's top 5 for
Wow,
me.
that's you know
Because
what?
I
We're gonna have to do a show. Yo, we have so many shows that we can do,
yeah, because
dude. Yo,
I
we're gonna
love
have to
him.
have the hip hop conversation.
Yeah,
We're
we
gonna
know we
have
are
to. We
because
have to
like
do it.
Eminem to me is he's definitely in my 10, but I don't know if he's in my top 5 though.
Remember the
Yeah,
old T-Mobile Fave 5? The
yeah, yeah,
5
yeah,
people that
yeah,
you could call without using your minutes?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did I just tell
Yo,
the whole world how old I am?
yo, dude, I remember that shit because I had that. Fuck. God damn. But no, like I think the getting back to Crowder. So this is the problem with Crowder. Because I've subscribed to him for a while. I think the problem is that if you're gonna go just based on his content, yo, yo, that's racist. Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right.
That,
So Carbon is asking, one of my good buddies, Carbon, who's been supporting Dr. Evil Genius for a long time. I'm going to take out this time to do a little bit of house cleaning. So those that have heard this, I'm sorry, but I got to do this. We have to grow this platform. Okay. So for those who are on the Dr. Evil Genius platform, this is going to be the last time the Talking Shit podcast makes a cameo appearance on this channel. The only reason why we're doing this here is because a lot of you guys don't know that the podcast actually launched. So I ran a few episodes so that you guys could see what we're doing here. So understand that we need you to go over to the actual The Talking Shit podcast YouTube channel right here at this link. bit.ly/capital TALKIN _ HT
capital S
SHT. I'm trying to be super radio smooth and I'm kind of skipping letters.
No, make sure you have those capital as capital T.
Yeah, it's got to be the capital T and the capital S. Definitely hop over and hang out. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Please help us with the algorithm. Please help us to grow this community where we are trying to do two things on this platform. One, we are here to help men become the best versions of themselves and for them to understand that we appreciate them, and for women who love and respect the contributions that men make on a daily basis to keep society running smoothly, somewhat smoothly, right? This is not just a platform just for men. This is also for women who have been shamed into silence when they go into mixed company and then they're expected to toe the womanist line that is, let's just call it what it is, pretty misandrist.
Yeah.
Misandry is now mainstream. There are a lot of women out there who silently do not agree with misandry. This platform is also for you to help you find your voice. Because when a man defends himself, he's mansplaining or he's a rapist or he's whatever, right? I should not have said the R word. YouTube doesn't like the R word. He's an assaulter. He's a criminal. He's a bad person, right? But the thing is that I talk to a lot of women on a regular basis who say, I don't believe in all this stuff. And I'm like, well, because you're silent, the loud minority gets to make all of society's new rules. So for the women out there that love and respect men, this platform is for you. This is a place where you can feel comfortable voicing your love and your support for men who are productive and competitive, and the guys that are trying every day to be the best versions of themselves. This is what this platform is for. Tell your lady friends about it, because let's just be frank, people. There's not a whole lot of hope for the modern male to do anything more than make just enough money to pay his own bills and watch PlayStation and his PS5 and to watch porn. There really is nothing that is going to encourage men to be the absolute best version of himself, because the modern man doesn't see any real reward for going out there and striving hard to be visible to really any modern woman, because we just see a bunch of pitfalls. A lot of guys, you got the MG toe movement, MG toe meaning men going their own way. You also have the MG toe movement, men guarding their own wallets. You have the red pill community, you have the purple pill. There are a lot of guys that are dissatisfied with the social contract that is being presented to them in modern times. So the best thing that we can do is to get men and women together that understand the value of the opposite sex, to show the proper respect for the opposite sex, that's men and women. And that's what we are basing this platform on. So in order to grow this community and get our voices out there, we need you to go to this link, bit.ly/capital TALKIN_SHT talking. Okay? Hit that link. Definitely hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Share this with your friends. We're trying to grow this community and do our part to bring society back to some semblance of balance, where there is a proper appreciation for each other. If you are on social media, we would love it if you followed us on Twitter at talking_sh_t, where Captain Paul talks a lot of shit without actually letting people know that it's actually him talking shit about these goddamn goaltenders in the playoffs. If you're on Narcigram, please go give us a follow. We've got no content over there, but help us with the algorithm. And of course, on Twitch, if you're on YouTube and you've got a Twitch account, pump up our follower numbers so that we can get partnered, so we can get super chats and we can get all this other stuff, so that we could try to recoup the many thousands of dollars that we've paid to bring content to you. Okay. Also, if you guys, want to hear us muse on certain topics and you want to get, our opinion on certain things, or if you're looking for a little bit of guidance and you don't know how to handle a particular situation and you want our input on it, hit us up. Talking Shit Podcast LLC at gmail.com. We check the email address, we look at it, we decide, what we're going to do with it, and all that good stuff, and we'll see what's up. And last but not least, the Filthy Casual MMA Watch Party for all you MMA lovers, and even those who might be, you might want to figure out, you might be curious about, what MMA is. Come on over. For pretty much every Saturday, we are going to be doing a watch party. So if you have ESPN Plus and you want to watch the UFC events, we will be enjoying the events from the early prelims to the prelims to the main card. We're going to be sitting right here, right? I always turn this over to the side a little bit because one of my lovely ladies would normally sit in this area right here, and she will help to co-host it because she loves watching MMA, and this is something that we do together as a couple. My other partner, she doesn't really like MMA, so she goes into the living room. She watches Korean dramas. That's neither here nor there. But you definitely join us and hang out with us as we watch people get punched in the motherfucking face. Now, let's look at these chats. Let's look at these chats. Let's look at these chats. Okay. Seditionalist knows. That's the URL for the Twitch. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Carbon, he's been supporting for a real long time. So welcome to Captain Paul's channel.
Appreciate that, bro.
Let me answer this. Do you want to answer this question before I do?
Shit, man. I'm more of a rum guy, honestly.
Okay. I am anti-alcoholic beverage intake. Period. And there are physiological reasons why.
Yeah,
And we'll go through that in another time, but I'm not a proponent of consuming of alcohol at all. And in
I think
fact, I never have
I
and
think I
never
think
will.
I think with moderation it's fine. Like I have last time I had a
Actually,
drink.
the studies have shown that it does damage to your brain in any amount.
So like last time I had a drink was probably about a year or something like that. I don't drink
Mm.
alcohol like that. So used to when I was younger, like not even that crazy, but like maybe once a week. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't drink alcohol like that. But if I
Mm-hmm.
was gonna drink a hard liquor, probably be rum. But
Okay.
but
Seditionalist, thank you for coming through. We appreciate you. Oh shit, Jimmy Dean, yo, he's not playing with you, son. He's
yo,
not playing with you. He's not
yo,
playing
bro.
with you.
I had yo, dude. I got a little bit left of a pancreas, bro. I'm not trying to kill the rest of it. So
Carbon is trying to be the best version of himself. Don't worry, Carbon. Even if you miss the lives, they'll be up. Also, people, we've been getting copyright strikes on our channel.
mhm.
So what we're gonna end up doing is sometimes if we're playing copyright material live, you'll be able to see it live. But we're gonna have to either clip out some of the content when the actual video goes up on YouTube, but the unadulterated versions will be on the Patreon when we set up all the tiers. So if you want to see and hear all the stuff, then that's what you're gonna want to do. Jimmy Dean. Ah!
Shit.
I did not expect Waffles to be in my corner on this, but yeah, I'm not a proponent. Although I must make it very clear, I am a proponent. Even though I'm very anti-drug and anti-alcohol, alcohol is a drug. I still support everyone's right to put into their body whatever they decide to put into their body, as long as the substance that they put into their body does not negatively affect someone else. I want to
Yep.
make that very, very, very clear. Right? Jimmy Dean, thank you for coming through. We appreciate you. If you want to come through the MMA watch party, we will be on for more than 6 fucking hours. A very special friend wanted to spend some time with me tomorrow, and I wanted to, kind of get closer and closer to them sugar walls, but I'm not gonna be able to do that because I'm here for y'all's. I'm sacrificing money and poontang to bring y'all content. So please, please support the platform. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Please hit the motherfucking like button. Wow, let's talk about people who are leveling up. Starting his auto body collision and repair internship.
There you go, bro.
This is a guy that was washing cars at a dealership like 6-7 months ago. This is how you continue to grind to become the best version of yourself. And the thing is, like, yo, Carbon, yo, I'm always gonna salute you, dude. You're always trying to do the right thing with your life. Always salute, man. And it comes back around again. Being in your masculine frame, right? Go where you're wanted. Go where you are appreciated. Because you don't deserve anything less.
Nope.
And really think about it, right? Think about it. Because I'm going to bring it back to the topic. What to do when she don't want you. We're going to bring it right back because we got, we get into politics and all this other stuff, but we're going to bring it right back to where we were. What to do when she don't want you. We asked the audience earlier, how many times have you heard, normally it's men that do this. If I can't have her, nobody can. Nobody should be looking at her. I don't want her dating nobody else. I'm going to go beat up her new boyfriend. We've all seen this kind of stuff.
That's beta male behavior.
That's beta, simp, bitch ass shit.
Yeah, if you can't just move on, you gotta move on, man. Like the thing is, you gotta go where you're wanted, whether that be a relationship, work, or whatever, man. You put the work in.
Yeah.
Shit will happen, bro. Trust
And
me.
the thing is, traditionalists, yes, we have heard women say the same thing. But if we are being honest, it's mostly men that you hear talking that, that possessive. Oh, if she leaves me, then that means I'm not worth as much.
Yeah.
Right? We normally hear that shit from men.
Hmm.
Right? So there are a lot of stuff that you'll hear from, radical womanists that try to make men look bad by saying that, men mostly do this or that and they be wrong. This is not one of those things. This
No.
is not one of those times.
No.
This is beta male bullshit. You understand? Like, you have to understand. You have to be able to stand within you and say, yo, I am worth being valued, being respected. And that does not include trying to force somebody to value you and respect you. Because guess what? As a man, you don't need to demand respect.
No.
Your character is going to command respect. And if it doesn't, then what should you do? Pull out a gun and shoot up a movie theater? No. Go out there and earn the respect.
And this is just a quick side note, because like you kind of saying the whole shooting up a movie theater, and that's where I think a lot of this shit happens, right? And a lot of that's beta male behavior, because a real man, a true, quote unquote alpha, is gonna look at themselves and be like, hey, like, I'm not where I want to be in life, right? I'm not making the right decisions. They're gonna look introspectively and realize I'm
That
fucking
real
up.
man would do that.
A real man is gonna look introspectively and realize there's certain things I need to do to reach that next level or to take that first step to improve my life, right? Real men aren't just millionaires or some shit. That could be like the everyday guy going from like, working as like a ground end guy at the factory, then working his way up to manager. Like, you gotta take steps and make certain, take certain fucking steps to kind of secure that you improve in life. And that's the big thing, man. You got to look introspectively and realize your weaknesses and try to improve upon them. That's what a real man does, and he doesn't get stuck. He doesn't get caught in these, I would say, needless drama that, hey, man, girl turns you down when you're single. Yeah, that's true. When a girl turns you down and shit like that, or, whatever, something goes negatively in your life, you got to be like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to just put my nose to the grindstone and just work my ass off and then level up and command that respect I'm looking for. You can't force someone to respect you.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about that? A lot of guys make the mistake of thinking that respect comes with money.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
But here's the reality. The reality is, the respect doesn't come with money. The respect and the money come as a... The respect and the money comes as a result of something else.
Mm-hmm.
The work.
Mm-hmm.
When people see that you are on your square, as a man, as a woman even, people are going to be inclined to go along with you on your journey, on your way to your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to want to help you. See, we always talk about how misery loves company, but people also forget that success loves company as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think that you're just going to glide your way through life, people are not really going to fuck with you like that.
No.
Even if you are struggling, if you're putting the fucking work in and people can see the path that you're on, people are going to want to work with you. And now you're creating your own luck. Because I hear people talk about that all the time. Well, you're privileged and that's why you have this and you have all the luck and blah, 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 blah. Excuses.
Yeah, it is excuses.
If you are putting yourself in position with hard work, people above you and below you will notice that. And remember, because you hear about haters all the time, right? People are haters when you're trying to level up and you're trying to get riches and you're trying to reach these goals. But you know, you never find hate. You know where you never find haters at? With people who are just working hard. You don't find any haters.
No.
Because real recognizes real.
Yep.
I don't have any haters. I don't got nobody hating on me. I don't have anybody on social media talking, oh, well, Dr. Evil, blah, 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 blah.
Well, to be fair, though, that comes with the level of that comes to a level of notoriety and popularity, right? I do think this.
But that's all people see. They only see the end goal.
Right.
But you don't have any real haters unless you are taking shortcuts. If you're trying to take shortcuts on the path to success, you're going to grow a lot of haters on the way. You know how you keep them away? You work hard. You earn what you get.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why people respect Elon Musk, but they don't respect Jeff Bezos? Because Elon Musk, hard work and intelligence on his way up. He had an actual idea. He had an actual need a societal need that needed to be fulfilled, and he tried to fulfill it. He didn't take any shortcuts, except in the build quality of the cars, which is why they're having trouble selling some of the cars. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Right? Mm-hmm. But if you look at Jeff Bezos' business model is to exploit people, to exploit employees, to exploit the customer, and to exploit small businesses that dare try to use his platform to build themselves up.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he has so many haters. You don't have so many Elon Musk haters as you have Jeff Bezos haters, and they have comparable wealth. But what's the difference? People respect the hard work of Elon Musk. That's the difference.
No, you're not wrong.
So when we grow this platform, and we're grinding, we didn't get any seed money from anybody.
I mean, Spotify, if you want to give 25 mil, feel free. But
yo, if you guys want to get in on the ground floor and give us 8 figures, we'll take all the hate at that point.
Bro.
Okay?
I'll cry my
But
dude, I'll
in the absence of that, right? You know, in the absence of that, we're going to keep working.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I don't need a small loan from my dad of $1 million. He knows exactly what I'm talking about, right? We're going to put our fucking nose to the grindstone. I've dedicated myself to putting out content some way, shape, form, or fashion 6 days a week. I'm paying to bring you content. I am willing to only have 120 subscribers on this channel for 2 years. If that's what it takes to be successful, then that's what the fuck we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not going to name drop. We're not going to make fun of... I mean, we are going to make fun of people, but we're not going to make fun of people for clout reasons, right? We're going to do our thing here. We're going to network with people. We're going to try to bring you the most value that we can from the knowledge that we've accrued through life experience and observation. We're going to try to help you be the best version of yourself, and hopefully you can see how much work we're trying to put in to help you guys and to help you guys feel appreciated and to inspire you to do more and to achieve more. And then you'll be like, whoa, I really appreciate these guys. I'm going to support the platform. I'm going to tell other people, and they're going to support the platform. That's what we're trying to build here. It's what it is. Is what it is. So, you know, I this one was for you, Paul.
Yo, I much appreciate that shit. You know what I mean? My girl now, she don't give me shit about taking a shit. You know what I mean? So I don't have to worry about that, bro.
What kind of chick gets mad at you for a natural body process?
Bruh, listen, man. Like, the stories I have, stories on stories on stories I have about some of the crazy bitches I dated. Like,
Oh yeah, we gonna be
yo,
damn. We got.
yo,
Oh, I wanted to tell you guys about this earlier when you're talking because the thing is, as men, we know we can't afford to be entitled. Okay, and while this channel I've told you this time and time again, this channel is not to bash the modern woman, but occasionally they're gonna earn it. Now, I'm gonna read to you. And I'm not going to put this up on the screen because I wasn't able to scrub this person's voice. I don't want to have their likeness on the screen and, whatever. But I'm going to read to you this bio that I found on Bumble. And I stared at this and I actually exited the app and came back to it because this fucked me up, okay? It's a 40-year-old woman in my area in New York, okay? I'm going to read to you her fucking bio. Me, artsy, free spirit, spontaneous, sunshine, travel abroad, laughing, stubborn, 80s, kissing, plants, dancing, the ocean, the color turquoise. Okay? Oh, okay. You. Now keep in mind, this is a 40-year-old woman. Tall, fit, kind, silly, grounded, emotionally available. But it doesn't stop there. There's a disclaimer. I am currently preggers. If this is a problem for you, kindly move along.
wait, what?
You heard that right. This is a pregnant 40-year-old woman.
She wants more. She wants more kids. You know what I mean?
Artemisia. Plants. Yeah, that's a plant mama if I ever met one. Goodness gracious.
My fucking god, bro.
Now again, let's look at the guy she's looking for, okay? At age 40, she's trying to date while pregnant at age 40. You, tall, fit, kind, silly, grounded, emotionally available. So basically,
she was definitely being silly, letting that willy in her at that age, bro. Like no protected sex at all. No.
Hey, as for all we know, she might have just did the in vitro thing with a sperm donor because a lot of these women are doing this. Like, let's just be frank, all right? Yeah. Yes, this,
Bro.
okay? So let's unpack the womanese, shall we? Tall, fit. Okay? There's two things at play here.
She looks decent from your angle. I can see the picture a little bit from your screen.
Nah, she's got a lot of extra in the armpit area.
Oh, does she like hair?
Yeah, that's what you just saw was hair.
She don't shave?
No. I said she's got a little extra weight.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, bro, like
here's Admiral Akbar.
Yo, I was gonna say, bro, if she's looking like fully unshaven, that's nasty.
And the CC alert, the rooster carousel. Okay, so let's unpack this. When you see tall and fit, there's two things at play here. What she's really saying is you need to be a masculine man. Okay, she's looking for an alpha type. Okay. In the chat, I want you guys to tell me what you think the average male height is. Both the men and the women that are in the chat. Before I go any further, please tell me what you believe the average height is for a man in the United States. Go.
Shit, I know what it is. I feel like we should get some Jeopardy music playing or some shit.
Anybody else got a guess? I'm seeing Carbon here. Carbon says 5'9". 6 feet and 5'7". That can't be true at the same time, traditionalist. It's either or. What? Waffle says 5'8". Waffle says that he's 6'3" and taller than most people in general. Okay. Carbon is 6'3". Oh, male and female. So traditionalist thinks that the average female is 5'7" and the average male is 6 foot. Okay. What was the answer you were going to give, Captain?
I think the average height for a male in the United States is like 5'10".
That used to be the average. The current average height of the American male is 5'9". Okay. Now we've got Waffles here coming in at 6'3". We've got Carbon here coming in at 6'3". We've got Dr. Evil Genius coming in at 6'3". How tall are you, Captain?
5'10 3/4".
Okay.
That's why I've heard that from my doctor. I'm average, literally average height.
Yep.
Above average dick.
Slightly above. Okay. Okay. And traditionalist also 6'3".
What the fuck is up with you dudes? What did you eat when I didn't eat? God damn.
I don't know, man. Okay, so in the chat, I want you to input what percentage of men in the United States are 6 feet tall and taller and 6'3" and taller.
Let's say like 10%.
Wow, what are they feeding y'all in Deutschland? Statistician said his lady is 5'11".
Damn.
I hate to tell y'all guys, I like those girls that are 4'11".
Same.
Although I would like to climb the jungle gym that is, a woman that's damn near 6 feet tall. But we have other problems in society where you're not actually able to tell certain things right off the bat. Don't want to, end up in a situation where I get a little bit more than I bargained for.
Bro, the WNBA is right down the street from you, Yeah. You want to climb some trees, bro? There you go. Get some tall women
Waffles,
over there.
this doesn't make any sense. How can it be the same? How can it be the same?
I'll say 10% for male, and then like for women above what? Above their average.
We're saying the percentage of men that are in our country that are 6 feet tall, and then what percentage of men are 6'3" and taller?
Oh, so I'll say like 6'3" or higher. I'll probably say like 5%. 6 feet. I'll probably say 10.
Okay, so you say 10 for 6 feet.
Yeah.
And 5% for 6'3" and taller. Okay.
Yeah. I could be completely incorrect, but I don't know. Spitballing.
40% for 6 feet and 5% for 6'3". Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys what it actually is. Only 15% of men are 6 feet tall or taller. 15%. Which means that out of 100 men, you can expect only 15 of them to be 6 foot tall or taller. At 6'3", 2% of the population is 6 feet tall. 6'3" or taller.
That makes sense though, because like I'm just gonna see honestly, like very hard to find those big tall motherfuckers in a day-to-day life here in America.
That's because they're in the NBA, asshole.
Shit, what you mean, bro? Some play other sports. Don't be ignorant. What the fuck you mean?
So, let's go back to this lovely 40-year-old pregnant woman. you're 40. You want someone who is in either the top 15 to top 2% of men. And we've only just touched height. We've only addressed the height. Because you do know that there are guys who are tall that are fat fucks. Right?
Yeah.
So you, tall and fit, which means she wants a top 2% man just on this alone, and we haven't even talked about money.
Yep.
Kind, silly, grounded. So what she wants is a loyal alpha. She wants an alpha that acts like a beta to keep her comfortable. So she's making it very clear that she doesn't have a whole lot to offer, but she's got a long list of demands.
Yeah.
And what the fuck does emotionally available means? We're going to be talking about that in a future show.
Yeah,
We're going to talk
listen.
about
What do you mean,
Dr.
bro?
Evil's mistakes with women.
Bro, you don't want to go into a relationship and don't even have to try for the kid. The kid's on the way. You know, it's insta-kid, right? You just want to be a dad? Want to pick that responsibility?
I hate to tell you, there's a lot extra going on here underneath these armpits. Okay?
Bro, listen.
All right?
I just think.
You know how many obese women I see talking about you
It's
better
most
be
of them.
fit and tall
Yeah,
and all that?
it's most of them, bro. Like, I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of girls that are like, oh, you better be jacked and stuff. I'm like, yo, like, listen, like
80% of the women that swipe right on me are obese. And I keep saying in my bio, fit women only. Because why would I work this hard to look like this? What? I'm a man with options. Like, what? Why would you even... What? No, Waffles. When I say extra underneath the armpits, I'm not talking about in the armpits. I'm talking about there's a lot that kind of flops over her bra strap. That's what I'm talking about. It is clear this woman is overweight. So she doesn't really have anything. She doesn't really have anything really worth, but she's entitled anyway.
Well, and I'll just say my piece on this when it comes down to it is that if you're looking to kind of obtain a certain type of person aesthetically, you better be as fit, if not better, right? If you're having that certain demands. I do know some women.
More like substitute sloppy toppy.
I do know some women
You
like
will be side chick status.
I know people have certain builds, they don't give a shit. Some women date whoever, but yeah, I do notice that more. It's more with the fat women that legitimately will have like the insane demands. Like
it is. I don't
like because a lot of the girls
it.
I date are very small, and it's like they're not as well. Some turned out to be cuckoo, but they didn't have as many as
Cocoa Puffs.
fucking asinine designs. Where I've noticed like a lot of bigger girls, like, especially in Maine. Maine was a state full of whales, and like legitimately,
For real?
like, yeah, for real, bro. Like straight like beached ass whales up in these streets, like
White
bro,
whales.
like yo, abundance of white whales out there. And I just think that I could have been selling some whale oil for some big money out in these streets. Like she legitimately, bro, like Maine had like the worst dating scene I've ever seen in my life. And the demands they'd had, bro, like for the men, it's like, yo, you gotta be fit, gotta be ripped. I'm like, yo, listen, like if I benched 500, I don't know if I'd be able to pick your ass up. Like, you know what I mean?
Ooh.
Like, bro, I'm keeping it real. That's what we do. We're talking our shit, bro. Like, there's some real, like, listen, I had one bitch telling me, so I'm like 120. I went in person, yo, she's 300. I'm like, yo, like, oh, like, it's just a picture. You're gonna still love me for me. I'm like, yo, this whole date was based on a lie, yo. I literally went to the fucking place.
Yeah, he's not from Hartford. He's not from Hartford, Waffles.
No. But like, I went to the place, right? and she looked like how she did, bro. I talked to her for a second, and then I left. I just like adios, like yo, you look like what did you send your high school pictures? 'Cause you're only 300 fucking pounds. I'm like, yo, I don't know if you'll fit in my car. You might fuck up my suspension. Like, what the fuck are
Oh
you
shit,
expect?
yo, I've seen that happen before. I've seen a morbidly obese person get into a car and then just watch the suspension just fail,
Yeah, bro.
and then you see the back of the car. It just kind of like.
Bro, it's like, it's like you're driving a lowrider. You know what I mean? Just put her in the back seat.
Nah, it didn't even. The thing is, like, you can't even call it that because if it was a lowrider, the car would do that, but it would look like it was kind of cruising.
Yeah.
No,
Struggling.
yo, if a car could tell you how it felt,
Mm,
that's what I saw.
yeah.
It was. But you know what it is, man. You know what happens. You know what happens, man. And I realize this. I can't be mad at the obese woman for being entitled because that's the way society has set her up. They got the fat acceptance and yay. And, even though her organs are like, please stop, society is telling them, no, please get fatter. You look beautiful, right? If the vast majority of women that are chasing me are unattractive, what it really means is that I got to work harder. I got to work harder on my physique. I have to work harder on my appearance. I have to work harder on my presentation. I have to command more respect overall as a man in society. And I believe that, what you attract, says a lot about what you bring to the table. Mm-hmm. So in the past, I would look at that as an insult. I would look at that kind of entitlement as an insult. But what I've decided is I'm going to take that as a sign that I'm not working hard enough, and I need to work harder, and I need to be better. And so you guys are going to see chronicling of Dr. Evil working harder and being better and making it clear to the world that I am more valuable than what I appear to be today. And also, you guys should understand, too, that we've got some really fun content happening because we are putting together a fitness series where I chronicle what it is like to be a client of mine because I'm going to be taking on a new personal training client.
Mm-hmm. Right here. It's going to be me, your boy. I'm going to be trying to get in the best shape of my life. Evil's his rate. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how this goes. It's going to be interesting trying to do this on the boat as well. That's probably going to be probably a big obstacle within this, but man, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to definitely be worth it to be in the best shape of my life. And that's what I want to get back into.
And the plastic dumbbells you have, you have two of them that go up to 50 pounds each, right?
50, yeah, 50.
Right. So when you look at it, you basically have from 20 pounds all the way up to 100, because there are different things that you can do to make the best of just one dumbbell, or you can make the best of both dumbbells. So you've got a bench in there, right?
Yep.
Right. So I'm going to show you how to maximize that, and then if we're able to actually get into a gym together and do our thing, we are going to chronicle those things so you guys can see what it is like to kind of start, kind of sedentary, sort of sedentary, because he does do a lot of hard manual labor for work. But you guys are going to get to see what it is like to work with Dr. Evil, what it is like to dedicate yourself to being a better version of yourself. Because, imagine we got one fit guy here. Imagine if we had two. And what that does to our visibility and what that does for our work. Because if we're going to talk to people about being the best versions of themselves, we actually have to go and we need to show them how it's done. Right? We have to actually show them how it's done.
Yeah, and that's why I thought that it'd be fun to kind of document it, and it'd be a good journey just for myself, the way to hold myself more accountable. And I'm actually going to be getting a GoPro here when I start skating as well, and bring you that, like, stuff like that. And it's going to be a lot of fun, man. It really is. I actually, shit, I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's going to be a blast.
And another cool thing that we're going to have, which is going to be less useful, is Dr. Evil knows, and I kind of got this idea from other YouTubers that do videos and vlogs in their car. But I think the difference of what I want to do is I have a very unique way of raging when I drive through the streets of New York. And I know you guys want to see what it is like driving through the streets of New York City, in Brooklyn, in Manhattan. And I think that you guys would really enjoyed, just kind of musing, and then every now and again raging at somebody doing some dumb shit on the road. So we're going to have a variety of different content talking about a bunch of different things. We want to create a family, a community. So watch out for the, we're going to give opportunities for people to donate to the platform so we can recoup some of our losses. But we're going to be bringing you steady content. But also, remember, people, we're going to have the Filthy Casual MMA watch party tomorrow, 3:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So figure out where you are. Figure out, where you are from EDT, and know that we will be on. I was here. I think you misread the sarcasm. You misread the sarcasm. Let me put it up. Seditionalist was being an asshole, and he's like, no, discipline. And yeah, we are definitely gonna do and Fajardo, welcome. Never do Manhattan, too much traffic. That's why I know you want to watch.
Yeah.
Because I drive everywhere I go. So, I cannot wait to to experiment with different kinds of content with you guys and find out what you guys really enjoy watching. And again, we want to create the content that you want to watch so that you will tell other people, we want you to tell other people about what we're doing and to help expand this community. Because again, mainstream media is very much womanist, focused. We need more male voices, and we need more women's voices that support good men. Not all men, because some men, they're fucking trifling. Okay? But there are too many women who love and appreciate men for the masculine beings that we are supposed to be, who are constantly silent. We want you to find your voice right here on the Talking Shit podcast. Just tell her that you learned from the Talking Shit podcast and Dr. Evil that, if she wants to be the proper black woman from Zamunda,
licking that
she
goat
has to
cheese
clean
off.
the royal penis.
No, dude, she has to lick that goat cheese off. Don't clean it. Gotta lick it. It's a good aftertaste.
Actually, you can make crumbles out of it, put it in her salad.
Yeah. 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 I'll say this. Wash your fucking dick. Jesus Christ. Yo. Holy shit.
And on that note, we getting the fuck up out of here. Peace.